actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut. I was gonna say something along that line. It's complete horror. Trick, man.
Flick too hard, damn it!
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday night where we're going to be reviewing She-Hulk. Shit-Hulk. She-Hulk.
I hope that doesn't stick.
Hulk.
Smells.
It does smell. Episode 2. Shit-Hulk, Attorney of Shit. Look.
Nina, can I bring something up real quick?
Go ahead.
I heard you're number 6 on some Grifter countdown. Like Nerdrotic is up there. Yeah. It was Mark Lazur was letting Ryan know that last night that he didn't make the list, but you made number 68. Woo! Like Neurotic, Geeks and Gamers are like 1, 2, and 3, and you're like number 68. I just want to say, I just found out what that word meant. I'm probably a Grifter too. All right. Woo!
Okay, we're checking the Grifties right now. Yeah. We gotta check the Grifties because I personally voted for Nick Rekieta, of course. King
of course.
Grift. Okay, these are the new Grift nominations. We got Viva, Mauler,
Mauler.
Jeremy Griggs.
Jeremy. Yeah,
he's been nominated now. Oh no! The cat won. He's number 1 now.
Whoa, it's been moving.
Nick is number 2. Fauci's number 3.
Wow, you're worse than Fauci, Nick. That's impressive.
Wait, where am I?
You were like down near 68, he said.
68. Come on, let it be
69. Oh, where is it?
No way.
Wait a minute, where it moved?
Wait, where am I? People voted for me. No, that's
right
Nina.
Oh,
that's
no,
not
scroll
Nina
back up.
Infinity.
It was like 55, I think.
Oh, there it is. Nina Infinity. Wow, I'm 55
and
now?
moving up and moving
Incredible.
up. Good for you.
Incredible. I did not expect that. That is insane. That is insane. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about She-Hulk. 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 Her hero's journey. This is going to be an interesting episode. I want to start off by talking a little bit about something that I saw posted by That Star Wars Girl. Shout out to her. She also has a really great video on the creator of She-Hulk that she uploaded. So definitely check it out on her channel. But she posted this on Twitter, which is an interview by Jessica Gao, the writer of She-Hulk. And this is based on the episode 1 scene, the bathroom scene. And this is what she had to say. So I want to kind of talk about this, especially with you, Jane, because Jane, I know you've been in a woman's bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't just like assume we haven't been in women's bathrooms.
You're right. You know, I really shouldn't assume, Scott. I know you've been to girls' bathrooms plenty of times.
Plenty of times, like Porky style, through a little hole. Oh, anyways, I'm sorry.
You got that little glory hole action over there. That's fantastic. But we're gonna watch this and listen to what she has to say. So here we go.
About just that real world aspect of that kind of like female empowerment in the bathroom like that.
That scene is so important to me. Like,
so
and
important.
I had to really go to bat for that scene because a lot of people.
Okay, so she had to go to bat for that scene. That means people were like, "What the f is this?
Right.
Don't put this scene in there."
What does it mean? What's happening? Why is this here? And it's not important. Like, what is the definition of important that they're using?
But do you think she's like the way she uses I had to go to bat made it seem like they're like, no, we want bitches in there, not nice girls. You know what I mean? Like girls aren't supposed to help each other. They're supposed to be mean. And like she tries to make it sound like she went to bat because women should support one another. But really it's just a shitty scene. Like, let's move on. You just dressed her up like a hooker. You know?
Yeah, I feel like it was more like, this is a terrible scene. What does this have to do with the show? Can we not put this in the show? And she was like, no, this is a feminist scene and we need this in there.
But it's not like that at all, because my understanding is that if women don't know you or even like you in any regard, especially at a club or a bar, and they see you in the bathroom, they just ignore you.
That's not true.
Really?
It depends on your drunk level.
So if they're like stone cold sober, they'll ignore you, but if they're wasted, they'll start talking and chatting.
Absolutely. I've made really good friends in the girls' bathroom. So
I'm a urinal talker.
I mean, Jane, what is your bathroom, girls' bathroom situation been? Have you made drunk friends in the girls' bathroom before?
No, but then I don't typically get that drunk in public.
You're just
what
so
about
good.
other drunk like maybe you're not drunk, but if they're drunk and they're like, "Hey girl, that dress looks so hot on you," are you like, "Yeah, thanks," you know?
No,
that's never happened to you.
Get out quickly.
Wow.
Yeah. From the stories that I've heard from my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, and girlfriends, and my sister, most of the time there's usually a fight that breaks out in the women's washroom because one of the girls was eyeing another girl or another girl's date or something of that nature, and that's when they would throw down.
I've never had anything but great times.
That's such a good thing.
I agree with rogue attraction. I don't like being around drunk people, so it's like
I don't deal with drunk people, says Rogue. Yeah. Not enough spit, aka Russell Hall. But she says even Shrek Hulk's ankles are hideous. Oh my god, that's kind of true.
Her eyes are scary.
Well, depending on where they are on her face.
But I don't know.
That's for anybody,
weird.
really.
I've had a different experience in the girls' washroom. People have been very supportive of me in the girls' bathroom.
It must be a British Columbia thing.
Maybe, and it's also a Mexico thing because it's also happened here too.
Yeah,
well, I mean, no one drinks the water in British Columbia. Nobody drinks the water in Mexico, so there's one commonality.
No. That's true.
So you just have to drink liquor. So there you go.
Well, that's all you got.
I don't know about you, man. In men's bathrooms, you usually get like, if you make eye contact, there's like a nod. That's about it. Like a men's
that's as far as anyone wants to go.
Usually you walk in and you look straight ahead, and you get that. Yeah.
You don't want to look at another man in the eyes when you're holding on to your junk as you're ever. Like,
at least I don't for others. Maybe they enjoy that. That's your gig. I'm fine with that.
Always peaks.
I mean, I definitely look, but I don't look them in the eyes. I don't look them in the eyes.
Because that creates the intimacy.
I'll be like, hey, your girlfriend's a really lucky lady. Eye contact's like very intimate. Just looking at some dude's junk, whatever.
The first red flag is that if there's 4 urinals empty and then you go to one and then another guy comes in and goes right next to the one.
I love doing that to people, though. I love doing that to people. It's the worst thing. It's such a faux pas, but it's so great when someone's in the urinal and you walk up and you're like, hey. And you just start peeing. And they're like, oh my God, like, man, there's 4 more. Why are you right next to me? There's a lot of rules in a men's bathroom. There's a lot of rules.
Especially if there isn't a guard between the urinals, which is often...
That's yeah. You ever have a trough?
God. Yeah, I never understood those. The trough thing is like fucking gross.
The Yale Bowl. Oh,
like,
dude, there's splash everywhere.
What?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you're a little kid at the Yale Bowl, because I live around there, and they have a urinal, you're like on your tippy toe. It's just dangerous, people. So trough peeing is like a gutter that like has a little, 1 grade slant.
It looks like a pig's trough, except
right. But
it's so uncivilized.
It's so old school, but like smart places would put like ice or soap in it, ice or like snow. I've known places to put snow, so it's less splashback.
Yeah, there's less splash.
I've
known of those too.
Yeah.
The only reason I found this out was through like a guy friend of mine that told me about it because I heard about it through a show, and they were like, yeah, it's usually like in stadiums or like big places they put troughs, and I was like, men are fucking disgusting.
It really is bad. It's
never wear sandals. Don't wear sandals. Don't wear sandals.
Yeah, Jade, we always think it's bad in the girls' bathroom, but just imagine what the hell
is downright primitive.
If the women bathrooms had troughs, that would be cranzy.
You guys don't know anything. I work with mostly men, and when you walk into like a stall, like I literally bring in sanitizer, like Lysol, and people like make fun of me, but I've literally found shit on the back tub, like on the back, like the upper tub. How do you get it up there? Not an upper decker, like someone stood up and slid up. I got so many stories about shit, people.
Good Lord. It's all the kids.
That's not them standing up after. That's them not getting down in time.
That could be it. That could be it.
It's all
Yeah.
the kids because I remember I took my little nephew to the bathroom once because he was like, I have to go. And I was like babysitting him. And then he goes and he makes the worst mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, I tried everything to make you not make this mess, but it was terrible. And then when we left, I like literally went up to the people that were there and I was like, I'm so sorry for what you're about to witness in the bathroom. Here's a giant tip. Like I gave him like $10 because I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the guys at work don't tip.
Yeah, I mean,
I just felt
listen, for especially for kids, like my oldest godson, when I had to take him out for the first time to go to the washroom, he went. He was like 7. He was only like 3.5 feet tall. Like he was really short.
Poor bastard.
But he goes into the washroom, and then a second later comes in and says, I can't go. I'm like, why not? It's like their urinals are too high. So I had to go in there, basically grab him from the back of his shirt and hold him up.
Yep.
And it was the weirdest thing because it looks like I'm holding like a human-shaped giant pitcher of beer, and it's just pouring itself out into the urinal. And guys are coming in, just watching me, and there's like, that is some weird dad stuff right there. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god, it's like a teapot. Like I'm a little teapot, short and fat. Oh my god.
Exactly. Like because I wasn't holding him with both arms because he was really light, so I just kind of held my arm out and was looking away, giving him some privacy. But he's just dangling midair.
Oh god.
Oh my god. I feel you, dude. Not enough spit for 2. Is the knife shirt a shout out to John Bobbitt? I don't know what you're talking. Oh,
she's wearing like a knife shirt. I didn't even notice that.
Dude, this chick is a psycho. I'm telling you, she's talking
is.
about killing people at the end of this. Speaking of amazing people, though, not psychos, amazing people. Here's Az. Hi.
Hey, Az.
Hi.
Jeez, can I just say something before we carry on?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I've been watching this stream.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes, it's about
And
that.
I'm just like, are we now at a phase in the Marvel MCU where people will literally want to discuss fecal matter, shit on toilets, piss all over 11-year-old boys, splashback, looking at men's penises, maybe holding men's penises in the toilet, women fucking yas queening each other as they're trying to, you know, not sound like they piss like a racehorse in the cubicles.
Yep.
We would rather discuss this than She-Hulk. Because if this is true, and I'm not trying to derail your own stream, Nina.
We already
if
did.
this is true, I'm in.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, this is exactly what the MCU has become. As you're perfectly correct. That's exactly what's going on. But okay, let's watch the rest of this. But this knife thing, that's interesting.
Can I just one more thing about these people of Hollywood, like, and Script might be able to tell me. These that's exactly what I mean. These people are the people that they were all shapes, sizes, sexualities. I don't give a shit, but they were the people that did not have a good time in high school. And now this is their comeback story. This is their, I'm going to screw over the dorks that weren't nice to me, the jocks that weren't nice to me. Like every story is man-hating, and it's mostly like in a high school humor too. And that's what's really starting to bother me. It's not even like smart making fun of men. It's just men catcalling and almost getting their heads ripped off. You know, one dude who's a lawyer who is like, you know, you did that to get publicity, and then turns and it's like, I'm going to go talk to that hot chick. You know,
You mean animosity? I mean, that's from a bunch of younger people, but like the writers
never
my
said
age
chick.
group and older, most of them had a blast in high school and college because they didn't care about the cliques or the social structure.
so they just suck in general then.
The other ones, I guess, were so dependent on the social structure and trying to integrate and be accepted that's probably why they have that bitter attitude towards some of the work. I mean, that's one of the things from some of the like David Koepp and William Goldberg and all that stuff. They don't care about what other people think, and that's why they were successful to various degrees. And that's what you tend to find in a whole bunch of other writers' rooms. It's like we don't care what other people think in regards to getting the work done and whatnot. The only time you care about the relationship is if you will or will not get that job, because Hollywood is primarily a relationship business.
Does the job normally come with blow in front of it?
Not in my departments.
See, this Hollywood's gone to shit.
The memes have already started. Oh my god.
You answered it pretty quick there, buddy.
Okay, back to this biatch.
That wasn't a Photoshop. That was me.
Okay, here we go.
That was just a photograph.
It was just a photo of us together in the bathroom.
Yeah. I was going, yes, Quinn.
Having a gay old
you're
time.
wearing is so hot.
About to fucking scissor. Okay, here we go.
Understand why it was so important, because if you look at it from the surface level, you're like, it's kind of an extraneous scene. It doesn't really serve a plot purpose, you know. You could really get
why
through
is
the
it
story
there?
and get it, and you know.
What do you mean? It doesn't serve a plot purpose.
Well, oddly enough, it does serve as a functional plot better than anything that Zack Snyder would come up with, because these women who have found her for whatever reason have dressed her up into provocative clothing and left her alone to be a prey. And that
she doesn't address that though. That's the funny part. She doesn't address that part.
That's part of the what's called the random act of brilliance, when stupid people do something that is absolutely brilliant by accident, and they don't realize it, and until you tell it to them, they'll never acknowledge it. And then when you do tell it to them, then they'll say, "Oh yes, that's what I planned all along," and you can just call them out on their BS for that.
But this is the reverse, because she had a woman in distress, and then they came in and went, "Yes, girl, let's dress you up like a whore and stick you out on the street."
Yes, just to get her to change back into She-Hulk and then have Hulk tackle her before she attacks those three pervy guys.
So you're saying that's a brilliant move?
I'm saying, like, the functionality of cause and effect is there, but is this really the best course of action to do it, or to get to that point? Like, I don't, like, there's no point with regards to why does she have to transform again, when, like this last week I said, the more interesting scene would be she's still inside the bar and Hulk comes in to pick her up. That causes a bit more conflict and distractions, because the women would fawn over the Hulk, and all the guys that there for ladies' night would be upset that they're being ignored because the Hulk is there, and there's nothing they can do about it. You could even have a debate with a bunch of guys like, you know, maybe we could take him. It's like, it's the Hulk. No, you can't. And then you have that side conversation happening while Hulk is trying to leave with his cousin, and all the women are like fawning over him, saying, "No, please stay. We like green men," you know, something of that nature. But instead, what we get is the social agenda type of scene, which still follows the cause and effects, but it just overall doesn't have a point to it.
And also, she ends up sounding like a total psycho by the end. Okay, here we go.
You know, you would still understand what was happening in the story, but I was like, this is the single most important scene in that entire episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because it really shows
how shit my show is.
Oh, my God. Like, she admitted to it. Like, they don't hide shit anymore. They, for the last few years, but that is just, she thinks it's fine to say, like, this is the most important one because this is my agenda. Like,
yeah, this is, I'm taking this IP and I'm using it as a platform
for
shit. My political agenda.
Oh my God. It's like, if you wanted to make the reboot of Ally McBeal, someone would have hired you. Why'd you have to go and fuck up She-Hulk?
I know, right?
They are doing a follow-up to Ally McBeal, actually.
Oh, she lost out. She lost out.
Are you serious? Are they going to call it Single Female Lawyer?
That would be brilliant.
They should be black and bald.
and angry.
Yeah, and angry.
One of the Wakanda soldiers.
Yeah.
Yes. Only with no makeup. She won't be cute.
She won't be cute. She won't be cute. Do that. There's no way. Like, extremely overweight. It'll be Lizzo. Lizzo as
It could be actually Jessica Gal. Look at her. She has almost no facial expressions.
Oh yeah.
That's the Botox, though. In all fairness,
Asians don't need Botox.
He said it. Send all your hate mail to.
Hey, Script Doctor can say that.
Yeah, he can.
He's got an Asian girlfriend. It's fine.
He's Asian adjacent.
Yeah.
My step siblings are South Korean. And I can't tell any of the three of them apart. And two of them are boys. One's a girl.
Wow. You're a racist.
Dude, are you trying to get me fucking canceled?
I'm just gonna slip into the back of the room for a bit if you don't mind. Okay.
Triplets. It's a joke. They're triplets.
Yes.
Like, where am I?
Yes. Can I? How do I fucking remove myself?
You're like, I'm out.
I love your script.
Protective, like, warmth of the women's bathroom. It is a beautiful and safe environment. I mean, outside at the bar, maybe these women would have fought each other.
Sure.
But for some reason, when you get past the magic barrier of the women's bathroom door, it is the most protective and loving and supportive environment. A girl that you meet in the bathroom of a club will go and like help you bury your dude if you need her to.
Bury your dude if you need her to. She's a psychopath. Like, who talks like that?
The mafia.
No, just you know who talks like this? Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots who've been gifted positions they don't even deserve, shouldn't be anywhere close to. She shouldn't be writing this shit. She did Pickle Rick. Great. Well done. That's your fucking legacy. That's all you're fucking ever going to be known for. This show could have been written. Look, I could have had a fucking mental breakdown, a stroke, been fucking diagnosed with cerebral palsy, and I could have fucking put a pen in my mouth and written a better script than this fucking show has ever done. It is shite. This isn't even like cutesy wootsy, like little stabs at dudes. That's fine. You know, that's cool. You know, we've all got our little furballs about the other sex. You know, we all have a little jokes. I do my woman thing. I do my woman thing. Shout, you know, all this kind of stuff. I kicked Nina out of the real BBC. That was unrelated. That was just something that I have to do on a regular basis to keep it normal.
Do ya?
But this is just like, oh my God, I remember when I was like 16 and this guy like fingered me and then didn't speak to me ever again.
Yep.
That's this coming home to roost in a fucking middle-aged fucking boxed wine mom.
Yep.
And it's
she doesn't even get the good stuff.
embarrassing. This show to date has been fucking embarrassing to watch.
It's been a fucking nightmare to watch. It's like, I'm like, how is this even fucking real when I watch this shit? Is that all she
Yes,
said?
absolutely.
Look.
Okay, yeah.
This guy,
that
fucking guy.
And he's going along with it. This sounds insane to him too.
Of course.
If he challenges him, he'll never be able to interview another person from Marvel again.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
There was one more thing I wanted to point out about her to show that she is just full of shit. And it's this right here. This post saying Kevin Feige is a creative genius, as She-Hulk head writer Jessica Gao. He constantly puts up with me arguing with him. He really lets me bully him in a way. It truly is a testament to what an egoless, wonderful person he is.
Reverse that.
Yeah, what an egotist you are.
Yeah, just reverse that whole thing. And let's get Kevin Feige's the writer and she's the head of, the MCU. And let's see what that would have sounded like when he said he bullied her. Because everyone would back her saying, oh, he forced her to like let her write these things out, or him write these things out. It's fucking ridiculous that they can get away saying this shit. And we just have to be like, oh yeah, that's great. That's great.
As opposed to incredibly toxic and psychotic.
Absolutely.
This is insane. And why would he let you get away with this?
I was just going to say that, Jane.
About it? It's just, the whole thing is just insane.
I was just going to say that, Jane. It's like, who brags about treating their boss like shit? And then, if I was Kevin Feige,
I mean, it worked for Disney.
I know, but I would be kind of pissed. But also, Kevin Feige comes off as a total bitch. It's like, why are you taking it from this woman? Like,
Kevin Feige in the first 10 years of Marvel muscled everyone out. Everyone out to be the man at Marvel. He had some balls, dude. He took out 3 different people, okay? And when he got to the top, all of a sudden something happened. And it was like my agenda now, like I can allow it to happen. Or I reached the pinnacle. I destroyed all these men. I don't know what happened to him, but he was a fucking beast. And now he's just this person who sits back and lets them say whatever they want. Yeah.
Well, he has lost his ambition because once he got to the top and there's nowhere else to go,
the
only direction is down, and that seems to be the case right here.
It reminds me of Bob Iger too. I mean, Bob Iger, he bent the knee too, and it just keeps reminding me of all these people.
He was a meteorologist, he wasn't really much of anything else.
That's true.
It is true.
Why would you want to be? Why would you want to be portrayed that way, though? I mean, it makes her come across as literally a crazy person who no one would want to work with.
Yep.
And she just gives a bad vibe.
Because they're all phonies there. They're all crabs in the bucket. They're all there faking it till they make it. They're all there, you know, getting the lattes, getting the coffees, laughing at the bad jokes, all this stuff. And then they go home and they go, for fuck's sake, oh my God, what is my life? And they're just rampant. And they're just rampant there. And Feige can't say shit. Because if Feige says shit, he'll get absolutely railroaded because he's attacking an Asian woman of no fucking color whatsoever. And you know, all these pathetic things, all these identitarian things which get tagged on to absolutely everything nowadays, because we can't have work being held up by merit anymore, on its own merit. Because if we look at everything on the merit, we are looking at a fucking toilet with an 11-year-old boy with piss on his face. That's what we're looking at. Yeah. So they can't work off that, so they have to turn it into the political ideology that we have now. So they have to use it as an attack on women. It's misogyny, it's a racism, it's a sexism, and that's the game that they play. Meanwhile, there are plenty of great shows on TV which get fucking cancelled after one season. Yep. Because it never found its audience, or it's put in a death spot, or it's put up against another show which was also really good but established. So people would tend to tune into that, and so it gets wiped. You know, unfortunately, great show. You know, we loved it, we worked hard, but now these shows which are getting cancelled off their first season, Naomi's and Resident Evils and stuff like this, and the Batwomans, which lasted 3, but let's just be honest, shouldn't even had 1.
Right.
All those shows, they're now turning around after they've literally shown their shit to the world and gone, this is the result of toxic fans. This is the result of this, that. This is racism. This is our voices are being shut down. Blah blah, fucking blah. And it's this, and it's the same with these fucking shit. Like I said, She-Hulk. This show. You know, let's not bullshit. I don't actually believe anyone that says they like this show.
No.
I don't either. How could you? How could you? There's no way you could like anything.
Nobody's likable. Nobody is.
She's describing the bathroom scene. It's the most important scene
of the first episode. Not her becoming the She-Hulk or anything. It's the bathroom scene. But real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to two people. One, Low Watermark. You are amazing. You just gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
You're so generous. Thank you so very much. And second, the patriarchy is real, and we're joined by George, the Giant Slayer.
George.
Yeah, hit that just right, as. How you doing, Nina?
Scott? Good. How are
my
you,
my friend?
George?
How are you?
Script? No, great. I just saw this garbage show the other night. I couldn't believe that the whole first 15 minutes was nothing but whining.
Wine drinking.
We haven't even gotten into it yet, George. You're just in time. But real quick, let me just hit a couple of these super chats. We got Baldo Gagger for 4,000. 4,000 for 2 says, "Is any amount of spit enough?" I don't know how to answer that. Not enough spit for 2 says, "High urinals are to teach boys how to arc and bank."
Well, that's true, and how to reach for the stars.
I mean, naturally, men are able to learn how to aim faster and better than women because of this.
And because we have penises.
Thank you, everyone, for that information. Joe Ball is here. Joe Ball, thank you so much for the $10 just to say, Nina, hi, good to see you. Joe Ball has a really amazing comic. Go check it out on Indiegogo. And Mr. Butt Crack Media sends a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you so much, sir. You are always welcome here.
I don't believe Chris Gore likes the show. I don't believe Robert Burnett likes the show.
Did he really say that?
I do believe that Angry Joe likes this show because he's from Austin. So, you know, that's...
Wow.
Do you actually not think Robert Burnett likes it? Because he said he likes it.
He's still in the industry, isn't he?
I don't... What I'm trying to say is I cannot comprehend. Like, Robert's really intelligent. I love him to pieces. Chris is awesome. He's an awesome guy. These are 2 guys which I think are stupendous. My brain cannot comprehend
Maybe
how
they're
they
trolling.
could possibly like this bullshit. I don't know.
You think they're trolling ass, maybe? Or are they
No,
really?
I think they're enamored with the fact they're seeing She-Hulk for the first time in live action, and that might be blinding their ability to be objective with regards to this.
Maybe they are.
Which,
Freudian.
Because we talked about this script. What was it? Well, Wednesday? Chris was there. He said he liked it. I didn't follow up with him. I should have asked him. But do you think, how do you separate that with people? It's the same type of people who, when they see Star Wars up on the billboard, they don't care about the content, whether it's good or bad. They just want to go see something labeled Star Wars. How do you get through to people who go, this
you have to not be
She-Hulk?
having addictive personalities. Or your first.
Well, that's my problem.
But it's not even a good version of the character, though.
Right.
But there's people that will just okay it away. I have friends that watch Star Wars series. One of my friends is a diehard Star Wars fan, and we were talking about the different Star Wars series, and we were talking about Mando, and every time I brought up like a reason why it's terrible, he would say, "Yeah, I know, but whatever." And it's just like, dude, you are like a diehard. How can you just whatever it? And it's exactly that. They have that content. And they're just like, I just want the content so bad. And it's
I
like,
would say
what?
it transcends fandom into just blind loyalty, and loyalty is a very dangerous thing to actually want and have, because
look at you Canadians.
It does not require respect. That's the thing. Loyalty does not require respect, and respect is paramount in comparison.
But with
I'd rather have people who watch me and listen to me. I'd rather have earned their respect to do that than command or demand their loyalty, because then if I demand their loyalty, it will mean, oh, you can't question me. And that's where you get to the.
That's what I'm doing wrong with my channel.
Didn't Angry Joe just do a video about that?
Did who?
Yeah,
Angry Joe just do a video about that when he got a lot of pushback to his She-Hulk, and then he did a video the next day crying about how people dared to disagree with him, and it's all incels, all the fucking pathetic buzzwords.
But there's nothing
that basically
here.
say I'm an egotist, I'm an egomaniac. I'm never wrong. I can't have any of my audience now that I'm, got 3.3 million subs or whatever on YouTube. Dare having to go back at me. It was pathetic.
It just doesn't make any sense, though, because at least with Star Wars and the sequel trilogy, you get beauty, you get a soundtrack. I mean, you get something substantive that you can get out. You may not like the story,
right?
You may not like what they've done to the characters. But at the very least, you get something beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it's like a fake plastic apple. It looks really, really pretty, but when you take a bite, it's like, that's not real. That's not
real.
Or like that.
Yeah. It doesn't look like She-Hulk.
Last night we were talking to Ryan about this, and for some reason we were talking about the hot girls on the Shannara Chronicles. So we brought that up, and we brought up like a couple scenes, and it literally was better than what we're seeing from Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
like,
come on,
serious, dude. Bring up Shannara Chronicles, an MTV show from a few years ago, and the world looked cooler. The world was so much.
Chronicles.
Oh, I was a fan.
You were? Well, that's good. Is that your pussy?
It's my pussy, and I'm stroking it live on air.
That is so sweet.
Twitch, don't give me a 7-day suspension, please.
Oh my god!
I just can't believe it's like they remind me of the people who would compare like having a decent meal at a restaurant to like a $2.99 all you can eat buffet. I mean, it's like this is shit food that you do when you're a teenager in your 20s and. Like eating ramen, but it's not a meal.
Don't talk bad about ramen, dude. Okay?
I do feel what you're saying though, Jane, in a way, because this show it literally has nothing. Like the CG is trash.
Yeah.
Like everything about it is absolute trash. The script is just gone. Like it's like
aesthetically, it's so bad to even look. I hate watching it. Like even without the dialogue.
When did they start filming this? Does anybody know when they started filming this? Because they
almost 2 years ago.
They had enough time to fix the CGI.
Exactly.
Right, but does her face remind does her face, the She-Hulk CGI face, remind anybody else of like the Scream mask?
Well, and it's funny you said that. Their excuse is Mark Ruffalo. He's a man, so he's allowed to have blemishes, so it's easier to CGI that, which might be true, but because she's a woman and she has to look like she's always wearing makeup, it's harder to CGI that face because it's too perfect. That's one of the articles I read. And it's just like, wow, man, that's your excuse that, she has to wear makeup and Mark Ruffalo, because he's a man, doesn't.
That's
like,
the
come on.
dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is. And then why did Jessica Gao come out with that ridiculous clip? I mean, it's like no one has any control over their executives or any of the showrunners. It's like, yeah, let me just go attack people by saying how great this part is. And if you don't get it,
It's insane. But let's talk about the
dress a
episode.
woman up like a whore, go George.
right. Come on. I asked some women I know, and I was like, if you were to see a woman who, because they hadn't seen, I'm like, if she ran into the restroom, I repeated the whole scenario. I'm like, would you basically dress her up like either a $2 hooker on Main Street? They're like, no, you're going to be like, can I help you? Did something happen? Here's a cell phone. Let's get you washed up. Let's
With inflation, that's a $20 hooker now.
She was dressed like an 80s hooker.
And that's actually the point I wanted to make. That's why I asked Jane, like, her experience in the female bathroom, because she was making a point about how this was the most important part of the first episode, but the message of it, in fact, was very fucked up message because those women helped dress her up like a whore and then left her alone on the street. Nobody would do that. Nobody would do that.
Nina, I think we've fully established that these women would have buried her dead body for her.
Yeah.
Right, but I think also two of them were drag queens.
They were talking about that
look
too.
like drag queens.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. At least
my cat has got her claws really deeply embedded in my shoulder.
She doesn't like She-Hulk either.
It's like 3 little knives on each paw, just stabbing
It's
in
so
there, aren't you,
painful.
baby?
It's painful, but it's good. It's good.
Well, she's purring away. She's happy. So.
There you go.
Tom brings up a good point. Can you even say drag queen anymore? I don't know.
Only if they're performing.
Yeah,
if they're their normal, everyday.
I think they change the rules every day. I don't know.
They
anymore.
do.
The drag queen that's going to be on Ironheart, they refer to him as a she.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, have you seen that one drag queen who's complaining about Zaslav canceling Batwoman?
Oh, well, so sad.
I'm just waiting for Gotham Knights to be canceled. It's overdue a little.
Resident Evil just got canceled.
Yeah, I
Black
saw.
Canary,
Oh,
the Black
shocking.
Canary TV
We
series.
call that day one.
Oh, that's not
I
happening.
know.
But if you have the right message and enough like first people like really looking at it, like House of the Dragon, one episode, second season greenlit. But a lot of my, Pauly and people like the Latino crowd, I think it was Gordito on HBO got canceled after a season, and they're devastated. They're devastated by this, and it was, I guess, really good content, family stuff. I never saw it. I can't say, but
That is bleeding.
yeah.
She adjusted herself and got even deeper. I was like, nope, now we're up. Now we're up.
She's trying to calm you down. That's all.
He just needs to say, medic.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't fucking like She-Hulk. What are you doing?
You're making her
Damn it.
mad.
I got the headphones on. You can't even hear this shit.
But I was surprised that Tatiana would go this far. I really liked her acting in the first season of what do you call it, Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, man, she was really good.
I
No,
love
she
her
is
in
a
Orphan
great
Black.
actress.
She's a great actress. Yes.
The other part too is, remember, she's won this role, which is objectively an awesome role to have. The problem is that it's not written very well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did she win it, or was she just the last one left? Nobody else wanted it.
No, she won it.
It's
you
a good
talking
haul.
about, man, Tatiana
sure everybody wanted it.
Really?
Is not
Okay.
the type that would be the last choice on anyone's list. When it
No.
Because I can't understand why she took. I mean, the way it's being
It's
portrayed. That's
work.
why.
The thing is, like, she got the role before she read the script.
Absolutely.
And to get to my point, actors have this certain level of professionalism, which is kind of a counter to their own ego, to a point where it's like, oh, this is terrible, but you know what? It would be even worse for my job and future career if I walked away from it because of a terrible script and tried to say it was irreconcilable differences or whatever the heck you had to do, which was something that occurred quite often in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of those actors that did that ended up not working again afterwards because they'd be considered difficult or not a player or not professional. So now you have this mentality with the current generation of actors, which Tatiana falls into, where it's like, okay, I signed a contract, I committed to this role, I'm going to try to make it the best I can. Unless something crosses a line, I am not going to leave.
Well, where are the
And
actors?
she's
Like,
stuck in that position. She doesn't have to be. She can't do anything about it.
She actually went through something really similar with Orphan Black, because Orphan Black was really, 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 really good up to like season 4, and then season
Went
4
off the
was
rails.
trash, and she couldn't save it. Like, her acting could not save season 4, and then they kind of, I don't know what they did, but they kind of fixed it in season 5, and it ended pretty okay. But it showed me that even though she was a great actress, if you have a shit script, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do.
Well, but where are the actors? Like, who do y'all respect more? These actors today who will stick with something like that and keep their mouth shut, or when I was growing up, you had like the Brandos, Reynolds.
Oh, he'll tell you off. Yeah.
Who would basically say, nope, this is not up to standard. I'm not doing it. And they'd
But I think you still have some of those people, but
hey, what?
True.
The problem is that you have some really great actors in these roles.
Yes.
But when like Lance Reddick, for example, in Resident Evil, great actor, terrible show. But what do you do if you're an actor in this day and age where Hollywood is just producing this material? This
garbage.
is
What if they stood up? What if
because the star, there's no such thing as movie stars or TV stars anymore. It's the brand has circumvented that. You don't have the days where you could be Jack Klugman, who just came off of the Odd Couple, a hit series in the 60s and 70s, and then go up to Glenn A. Larson, who is like one of the most prominent producers of time in the 70s, and say, listen, I'm not going to do this episode of Quincy, which has just started, because the script is terrible. If you want me to show up, I will, but the script has to be good. In which case, one of those first episodes, he left. He wasn't in it at all, and ratings plummeted. So they said, okay, we're not going to do stupid scripts again. And they brought him back. You can't get away with that anymore, because now the studios have said, yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the talent anymore. It's about the character that we made. It's about the intellectual property. I can find someone else, and there's thousands to pick from.
What would happen, Script and Jane? What would happen if, though, this has happened because no one is standing up? What if they did stand up and go, no? I mean,
you get Cowboy Bebop.
You get Gina Carano'd.
Yeah, that too. You get one or the other. You get a piece of shit production with great actors doing it. I mean, if you really think about it, the two lead men in Cowboy Bebop are good actors, like really good actors. Really. And it was a shit show. Or you get Gina Carano, who stands up for herself and says, no, I won't do that because I don't believe in that. And, you have these, people ripping on her for being in a movie right now. Another trailer, You
get pushed out. And that's why I feel so bad about the actors who are involved in this. I almost feel like, and I've said this before, I would prefer a lot of these people just walk away from acting entirely. I mean, just leave the industry. I know you
Scarlett
love
Johansson,
your passion, but just do something else, because
Scarlett Johansson,
you're not going to get quality content to work with.
I still think if they did it in mass, where they were giving interviews and going, we refuse to do this, and they're not part of it, they'd either have to go with a new generation of actors, or the media would create a sensation.
It's going to have to be after the fact.
It never worked that way. The SAG
It's directors that are walking away, not actors.
Yeah.
The directors should walk away, like, for example, the director of Multiverse of Madness, whatever, like, what was his name? God, I forgot, spacing out on his name right now.
Well, let's not even him. Think about the last Jedi, or Last Jedi.
Are you talking about
Last Rise of the Skywalker?
No, well, I'm saying the Doctor Strange too. Like, he should have walked away. Yeah, Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi should have walked away. He should have been like, "Look, you're not letting me do what I want to do. You're not letting me make my movie the way I want to make it. You're giving me a shit script to work with that you've fucking worked 20,000 times." I'm walking away. Like, no, I'm not doing
Sam
this
Raimi
shit.
doesn't care about stuff like that.
Yeah, but the kid who did Rise of Skywalker, and I'm blanking on his name at the moment. No. The one that walked out, or they said they let him go because they weren't lining up.
Colin Trevorrow?
Yeah, I mean, he left. I mean,
he didn't leave.
He was pushed out. He was pushed out because he was upset with what they did, and he wouldn't change his story.
He was fired at the convention, I believe. Wasn't that right? Like, he went to the...
It's not necessarily that he wouldn't change his story. It's that it's going to be too difficult to change the story. Why don't we just have Carrie Fisher's character pass away in the Rise of... in the Last Jedi? What? And they said no. And then they're like, well, you're... and then they go to Colin and said, you're difficult. We're just going to not...
He had more of that.
Or you could have a trilogy planned out before you fucking start making the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They
One vision.
did in the most abstract of ways, because each film was supposed to focus on one of the three main characters. It was supposed to be Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher. But it didn't work that way because they didn't refine it. And on top of that, it's really difficult to plan and guarantee a success, especially with a Star Wars brand, because even Star Wars doesn't always have the highest success that you expect when you're dealing with something that is not an adaptation of an existing story. Like, you have to go one movie at a time. It's the smartest thing you can do but the thing is, with the one movie, you tell basically a standalone story that could factor in two other ones. The first Star Wars trilogy was not planned. Lucas had no idea he was going to make 3 movies. He just made one movie, then he made a Star Wars 2, which turned out well, and then he made a Star Wars 3 to wrap everything up because he didn't want to make a 4th Star Wars film after a nasty divorce. Right. And basically,
Oh, I thought he planned the first 4.
I thought he planned. I thought he planned the one that they actually the story actually started in 1, 2, 3, but they couldn't make it that way.
Never did that. The only trilogy he planned was the prequel trilogy, and we saw how well that was.
Yeah. It was definitely a standalone, and when it blew up, he was able to create an amazing universe and a great IP that lived on even when he wasn't making movies anymore, through books that he okayed, and look what they've done to that. Disney, you fucking suck.
But the thing is, this is the case. You don't, unless it's an adaptation of a prolonged book series or another form, you don't really want to plan a trilogy, because if you shoot the trilogy or you start production on the second movie and that first movie doesn't do well, guess what? You got to scrap everything in that second movie that follows through on the first movie and start all over again. That's a terrible business idea.
Yeah.
Well, how did Marvel map it out then for the first phase 1 through 3?
They had abstract ideas, and then they just let the audience reception dictate how they're going to go.
I thought they mapped out the entire. Remember when they first showed these are all the
their
films?
map outs are basically like these are the titles. That's as far as they go.
And that was after
the story, so they didn't map out each. Okay.
No, that's the dumbest thing ever, because if they did that and they started production and it didn't go over well, they'd have lost hundreds of millions of dollars on movies that were carrying off storylines that weren't going to actually hit the way that they were expected. It's the dumbest business decision to ever try and plan 3 to 10 movies.
Well, what about Jackson? He did it with the trilogies. That's
an existing book. That's Lord of the Rings.
That's
already
different.
Been proven. We know it's been proven because the books were successful and lasted 50 years. It's like, we're going to make the trilogy. As long as we stick to the books, we're going to be okay. And that's
You know what other comic was definitely proven? She-Hulk. Let's get back to the story.
They're not even adapting any of the real stories. They're just making their own thing.
It's really funny that we've talked about bathrooms and
everything
sorts
else
of stuff, Star Wars, and we still haven't even talked about episode 2 of She-Hulk, and we're 48
because it's fucking shit.
The first 15 minutes, she whines. I don't have a job. I can't get a job. Nobody loves me. I'm like, get fucking therapy or shut up.
Yeah, they drop a Wolverine clue too. That pissed me off so much.
She gets fired for punching a superhero or a supervillain influencer. That's what she is. A supervillain
Influencer.
And then she loses her job at the district attorney's office because she's considered a liability for mistrials. And she doesn't think, hey, I beat up a supervillain influencer. Why don't I just become a superhero influencer? Boom, and she starts making millions of dollars as She-Hulk. All she has to do is try on, exercise out.
And I have a valid point after Jane. I point about that bar scene with her boss really pissed me off too.
Oh my god, I have so many.
I was just gonna say. I mean, first of all, we're supposed to feel sorry
Oh,
for a 30-something-year-old lawyer?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Secondly, she could have opened her own law office. She has a cousin who's a superhero. She has connections to the Avengers.
She has an office, Jane. It's the bar.
Yeah.
Oh
she
my
also,
God.
She-Hulk. Why was she complaining about being called She-Hulk? I hope that doesn't stick.
Oh my God.
Come on.
That's what I want to start with.
Bar. She got hired in the bar.
Yeah.
Who fucking does business in this fucking universe?
She talks shit about being a Hulk. Like she's like, I hate the name She-Hulk, blah, blah, blah. And then she starts going off about how she hates the word Hulk. She's like, oh my God, I don't like Hulk even. Like,
I don't like being derivative
that's her
of
friend,
Hulk.
that's her assistant
Derivative.
saying that. Yeah.
I love her assistant because she's just like, just go with it. That's the only person that actually seems like lighthearted and like just go with the flow. Like She-Hulk is not the She-Hulk from the comics. She is this not, tongue-in-cheek wink at the camera person. She is this icon of, I don't want to be the man's woman. I don't want to be controlled by the man, and you won't dictate it to me.
I don't know, Scott. I really dislike that
woman
character.
is way overdressed all the time.
Oh, which one? The She-Hulk?
The paralegal.
No, the paralegal.
Paralegal with no personality.
Yeah, well, no, she does have a personality. Her personality is a yes woman, like she's a yes bitch. So
I don't know. She's more of a whatever bitch.
She's an exposition dump.
Yeah,
right.
That's what she is. She's there to be just yesed off, no'd off.
Exactly.
Fill in a couple of gaps that need filling in, but she has no character.
Yeah, I agree.
Have more character than her.
But her only characteristic that came out in this is that she's extremely superficial, because all she cared about was that office and how nice it was, and like
I'll take it over She-Hulk.
It's a typical, again, another typical idea where everybody revolves around the main character. Their life is like, particularly Jane and I with Naomi, nobody has their own agency. Everyone just literally revolves around the main character, and that's what she does. That's all she's going to be there for. She's just going to be the person that just does all the donkey work, but we'll probably get to see nothing really about that. We'll get Mr. Gay, he's the poop toilet guy, coming in every now and again to go, hey, I'm actually really kind of like effeminate, so you don't need to be worried about me.
Right.
You don't need to be worried about me.
I'm an ally.
I was
an ally.
I'm waiting for her stripper pole. I figured She-Hulk stripper pole bar.
I'm gonna point out one specific line.
I can see them doing it.
Okay.
That I wanted to. I literally rolled my eyes so hard I got a freaking headache.
I wonder if it's the same one.
This one right
here. Hard. There's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna talk to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be trans.
It.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess maybe it wasn't quite a girl. Like I'm not sure what this is, but no guy refers to women as it. Have you ever referred to a woman as it before? Because I know you're quite sexist. So
not in a normal, legitimate way. Like if I'm pissing around with somebody, I go shut it, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'd use, I might use it as an insult. You're not a this, you're an it. But that'd be a joke. That would be done in a jokey sense. This line stuck with me immediately.
Me too.
Because as a man, I was just like, nobody speaks about women like this.
No.
Nope.
This is a pathetic, oh woe is me, I'm a fucking victim, and this is how I believe men talk about women line, which has been written by a woman.
Yeah.
Jane?
Go on.
Jane, have you ever heard a man referred to you as it, or anyone you know?
No.
I'd kill him, Jane. I kill him for you.
Nor has anyone ever said this in front of me or to me, let alone a colleague or someone at the workplace. Like the whole conversation is stupid. But I mean, it's all going back to portraying men as caricatures, not as real people.
Right.
It's almost like they don't know what people are like
Anymore?
Do they understand what it means to be human and how we communicate?
No, because they're trying to strip all of that to create this like gray glob. Everyone's the same.
What he is, he's like a non-funny, Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men. Like Charlie Sheen got away with it because he was funny. He was a drinker. He, musician. This guy is like supposed to be a professional. It blows my mind that
attorney.
Yeah, he's exactly
Yeah.
like he knows he can get sued for shit, and he just still says all the most sexist things you've ever heard.
But even if they wanted to portray him as a narcissist, he's still an attorney, so there will be some element of that charm.
Yes.
That they're able to
sociopath. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Have good
But
arguments.
it's not.
That's the thing.
It's not going to come across this crude, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
What were you saying, Rich?
Well, attorneys should have some of the best arguments, especially among each other, with regards to their points of view. I mean, the few lines that this guy said before that, I think were better. But then he says this thing here, and I'm like, well, from your character's point of view, from any character's point of view, why the heck would you even announce that you're going to go talk to a hot chick? Like, it just...
Because he's a sexist piece of shit, and that's all men in this show.
The
Like,
message.
Every single man in this show is
Or
a piece of
feminine.
shit.
I mean,
Or
the
feminine.
better sexist line would be, "You're hotter green than you are," you know, I don't know, something. I'm on the fly here, but
It's white
Well, what
man.
about even her dad was a beta? I mean, he had a little bit of the warmth.
the
but
guy
then-
from Perfect Strangers.
Yeah. Jesus, that's who it was. I couldn't read.
Yeah.
That was what's his name's
The one that nobody remembers because his name's not Balky. It's the actual guy.
It's Balky's friend. I kept wondering.
Well, Balky's cousin.
Cousin Larry. Cousin Larry.
Larry,
That's
right?
Cousin Larry. Wow.
Even he was able to shit over Mark Ruffalo's Hulk.
The premise, though, of her being fired for basically saving a bunch of people, to me was ridiculous. And
That's not why she was fired.
Well,
she was fired because she can be a Hulk, and that creates an unfair bias against all people that they prosecute.
Yeah, the jury.
But he was saying that he was saying that she's a liability because she's like,
because any opposing counsel can claim or request for a mistrial because of a form of bias. It's a stupid excuse, but it has nothing to do with her saving people.
Oh, really?
Like, he definitely says and supports her for doing what she did. He just says we cannot have you on our staff or participate in trials.
But it unraveled our case.
Because it unravels every case they'll have, because the defense can say she's a celebrity, she's a She-Hulk. The jury is not going to be able to be objective when it comes to having a verdict on this case, which is kind of weird because there are attorneys that some people know about, at least enough in their community area, that they're going to have a bias in favor or against for, and I don't see her being a She-Hulk kind of any differently in this type of universe because other superheroes sort of exist and it's almost a commonplace thing. I mean, common enough for a law firm to start opening up a division in it. So it just feels kind of weird that this is the direction they're going to get her out of the DA's office and on her own.
And how far do they take that? I mean, so do they not hire Black people because they may be biased against Black defendants? I mean,
Exactly.
The whole thing is so stupid that they haven't thought it through.
No,
they haven't thought through anything else in this show.
I mean, this thing would be if they threw her on the desk, because every time she does go to trial, they keep getting mistrials, and so they take her off court, and she's now just a desk clerk or a desk lawyer. She doesn't actually do any trial stuff, and she's depressed, and she decides, I have to quit because I'm not able to practice law like effectively. Because of she's trained as a trial lawyer. She's now doing paperwork and she's now doing research and things that just are not her skill set. And then she decides to leave, and the one firm that hires her is the one that at the beginning. That's a bit more of a logical progression, because it's not making the DA's office the stupid villain or the sympathetic villain. It's like, nope, we have these are the parameters we have to set in order to make sure we can do our job to the people. Because again, it's the district attorney's office. They're supposed to represent the people.
Yeah.
Or to do a situation where she's drawn, because she's a superhero now, because she is this sort of mutated thing, she's drawing in evil villains who want to attack her or challenge her.
Right.
And so that continues to disrupt her ability to function as an attorney.
That's also something that I wish could have been explored.
Do you think anybody's ever gonna? I'm sorry about that, Scott. Do you think anybody's ever gonna? Are they gonna return this nerd Hulk, or not nerd Hulk? I'd say beta Hulk back to the original.
No.
Well, no, he'll come back different, but not what we want. He will. He'll come back different. He won't be Smart Hulk again, but it'll be something. It will be a bad attempt at another version of Hulk. I'll just say
he's never gonna become like the angry Hulk. Like,
we're not gonna have Avengers Hulk back. Smash.
Never.
No, he might come back angry, but
he's way too toxic, George. I mean, come on now. He's like, he's the Hulk. That's
drag queen
There's
Hulk?
too much rage and emotion.
Planet.
Threats on him and have
they're gonna attempt like the Planet Hulk.
Pronoun is I don't fucking.
They'll attempt Planet Hulk and they'll ruin it, and it bothers me. What bothered me also in that bar scene though was the boss. Like he makes her go small into small Jen, and first of all, that whole metabolism thing is dumb as shit.
Which boss?
Right.
The DA or the new boss?
The DA makes her go small. She's all super drunk.
Jen, that's what he says.
Yeah, Jen, because it's a way of them showing like he's emasculating
or defeminizing her.
No, he's demasculated. I can't say the word.
What?
He's
Emasculated.
Thank you very so much, everybody.
One letter below D.
But then she shrinks down, and now he has the balls to fire her. And it's like, he couldn't do it unless she was smaller than him. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Maybe they should have done it in a pub when she was pissed. Maybe they should have done it professionally in a professional environment.
In an office.
Called,
Right.
I don't know, an office. Something like that, considering they work for the DA. This whole business, this whole pub business, this whole bar business.
It's Bukowski.
This whole bar, it's just ridiculous. It's stupid.
And why is she so
the only believable thing in the pub was the dude going, "Look, I can't be asked to speak to you. I'm going to speak to her."
Yeah.
That's the only fucking believable thing in that.
Yeah, I
bar.
don't even get why she would acquiesce to the patrons of the bar to turn into the She-Hulk when she herself is like, I don't really like doing it.
Right.
It's like, what's the point? She's
Yeah.
easily pressured into. It's like, I thought the better conflict with regards to the show is, especially if she's going to complain about her powers, is to do everything in her power to not activate the She-Hulk form.
Right.
Because if she just does it when anyone asks her to, then there's no real legitimate conflict. I mean, the better situation that we had is when she gets to that law firm and they say, yeah, we expect you to be in She-Hulk form while you work here. And she's like, oh, crap. And she hates it. I mean, and that's conflict that you can actually have fun with. But the fact that that aspect is deflated when her friend takes her to the bar and says, yeah, turn into She-Hulk. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
No.
Here's another scene with a friend that I really disliked. And again, it shows that Jen, not She-Hulk, as a total fucking bitch that doesn't appreciate anybody. And it was this one here where her friend is basically taking her time to come out here and talk to her, whatever, spend time with her while she's like, looking for a job and unemployed. And she's like, I'm so sad and lonely. And it's like, dude, what else can she do? What else can anyone do for you? Like, pick yourself back up off the floor, quit drinking so much, whatever the fuck is going on here. She's got some wine here. She's got, like, I don't know what the hell that is, but I don't know.
That probably was a bottle of scotch.
Yeah, it looks like scotch. She's got like some fucking vodka
That's
over
vodka,
here.
yeah.
Quit being a boozer, maybe, and like, actually
I'm
do something
sad.
with your
I'm
life.
Sad
so
about this is
sad.
so
But
contrived.
that's the whining
So
part. That was
freaking contrived.
I wish I had windows like hers. I wouldn't be sad.
Hang
But
on.
I'm a woman in my mid-30s and I'm white and I'm lonely because all I do is bitch about men. But really, I actually do want a man because I'm going to go out dating like a fiend because my life is incomplete without a man. And I completely and utterly feel it. But I'm so miserable and lonely. I'm going to say I'm so miserable and lonely, but the whole show's going to be about misery. But I really want a man in my life.
that pretty much sums it
Yeah,
up.
that does sum it up.
Yeah, well, because she's done everything that the media has told her to do. You don't need a man. You don't need anybody in your life. You can handle it all on your own. So she becomes miserable, but she has everything in her life. And that's good.
And
I
they
was gonna
ruin.
say-
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, Jane, can you expand on why it's contrived, and then as like
Just blew it up.
Here's why.
I mean,
Oh my
but
God.
the fact that okay, so now you're a celebrity.
Uh-huh.
You don't need why do you want to work for anyone else?
Right.
You
She
can you are totally in control of your life.
Free
And
publicity.
To add to what George was saying before too, you also have this lie that has been told to young people they can just sleep around
Oh, God.
their entire lives and never have an actual human relationship with anyone.
Yep.
And this is what you end up with too, just a bunch of bitter, angry older people
Yep.
who now don't know how to even function in a relationship, which is why she's jumping from one bed, literally,
Mhm.
To
to
another.
the next throughout the show,
You got
and
it.
making fun of a alleged virgin in Captain America.
Oh, that still pisses me off.
Oh, yeah.
And then they ruin, like, you introduce Wolverine like Easter egg in this scene. Like, no. Well, who gave the okay
Wait,
for
what? I don't know.
If you look at her computer on the right side, you'll see like a sneaker they're like sneakers for Iron Man, and below that there's a man gets in bar fight and fights with metal claws.
You mean in this scene here?
Yeah. When they show her computer and the
Press
the right hand
left-
side.
right arrow button.
Oops. Hang
Yeah,
on.
press- yeah.
Let me go
Press
back.
the
to
right
Not
arrow
that
button,
scene.
Skip 10
That's
seconds
great.
ahead on that play.
That was terrible.
But it's
Okay, hold on. I'm going
it's
back
just
to that
like who gave like
Oh,
did she
okay,
bully
I-
Kevin Feige into this? Like, is that what? Because why would you introduce it in She-Hulk? I'm sorry, like no, unless she's gonna now represent him because he got into a fight in a bar. Like, are you gonna?
If she were her own attorney, it'd be like, She-Hulk, attorney at law, don't make me angry. Like that would be your slogan.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And yet she doesn't do that.
Yeah, she's gonna make her own.
She wants to loaf. She's a loafer at law.
Okay, here's
attorney at law, don't make me a feminist.
Oh my
And
God.
she complains. It's so bad when she gets to the office and she's complaining about the men. It's like,
I know, Jane. I was like rolling my eyes so hard.
Captain America's ass. That she has it on her phone. It pisses me off.
Yeah, this is Captain America's ass, and then you had the Iron Man shoes.
Yeah,
here.
so like if you see a better scene of it, bottom right. I'm not saying I found it. I saw it somewhere, but they did. It is a claim, of Wolverine.
That's a callback to the first X-Men, so it takes place in 2023. Is what they're saying.
Gotcha.
Why there's a giant statue of a man sticking out of
Man
the
fights
ocean?
with
That's the Eternals.
Right above it.
Metal Claw and Barb.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the Eternals.
That below bit's the Eternals.
And it's funny because, that's the one I actually looked at that and went, huh. Because there is, no one talks about this freaking massive marble looking thing coming out of the oceans all of a sudden. Shouldn't there be a news break on that?
No. Do you know why? Because no one gives a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I'm talking about in Marvel here. I'm not
I
talking
know,
about people.
I know.
No one gives a shit.
Well, it's like in New York in the late 80s, early 90s. If a crime was happening across the street, you actually literally didn't give it any reference or pay it any mind because it was always happening. You got desensitized to it.
But this is the MCU.
Yeah,
nothing goes coherently. You go from one series to a movie that totally debunks that last name, retcons that series, to another series that retcons that movie. It's been nonstop. Every time something comes up, they change it. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Real quick, let me just get a couple of these super chats because people are so generous. Rico Zorro, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. You are so awesome. That's amazing. And there is a few here. Kenneth Dowling for 5 says, hello, Nina. I enjoy you on Nerdrotic's show. And now I see your show on the stream. I wanted to support you. You are amazing. So is everyone. Thank you so much. Yes, this panel is absolutely amazing. I love this panel very much.
I do too.
Mr. Butt Crack Media for 5 says,
I love that guy.
Saying She-Hulk is good is like saying Star Trek Discovery is good. And that's why I'm so surprised that Robert Meyer Burnett likes it because he hates Discovery. So I was like,
I don't mean to be rude about this question because I've been on with him a couple times. He seems like one of the kindest guys in the world, but Robert Meyer Burnett, isn't he still somewhat involved in the scene or is he not? Does he worry? Yeah. I wonder if some of it is worried to rip on, the hand that may feed you down. No, because he has talked shit about things, right?
Robert is not like that at all.
Okay.
I think it's the only thing I can think is that he's been so desperate to see these characters come to the small screen or the big screen.
Yeah, I meant no disrespect. It's because he seems like a great guy.
But objectively, I just can't see how you can say this stuff is good. It's
I'm trying to think.
Not a stroke or anything. He's healthy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think.
The only thing that this you can say a positive on the show is that structurally it's pretty sound, but it just doesn't do anything with it. Like for instance, she gets fired, so she has to get a new job. Right. She gets a new job by the person that caused her to get fired. In which case, the next conflict is she has to represent the person that helped destroy downtown Toronto that they said was New York in the first Incredible Hulk, which is Blonsky. Blonsky's on a redemptive arc, and he's already reconciled with Bruce, and now she's going to take him on as a client. And then the next effect is, turns out he's been secretly escaping the cube all this time. Now she has a new problem she has to deal with. I mean, structurally, that's fine.
Yeah.
The thing is that it just feels still empty. Like,
I mean,
those beats.
No disrespect at all, because I know you're looking at it from a more technical perspective. But as a viewer, who fuck cares?
Yeah.
Because technically you can be as technical as you want, but if your writing's terrible, if your characters are terrible, if your storyline's terrible, then that is the driving force behind the show. So, to say, wow, scenes, they're coherent and they make sense, it's kind of like we're going to get into the lowest form of praise now.
It's like,
unfortunately, there's so much out there where their scenes aren't coherent and don't make sense. You kind of appreciate that being there. But, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you in the sense that that's the only thing it's got going for it is the structure. That's really
I got
bad
you.
because structure is your basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing up is you make that dialogue sing so that people are actually entertained and enthralled by it, and they don't actually notice the structure. They don't realize it's happened until after the episode. We're like, wow, that actually all made sense. That is the sign of good writing. We haven't gotten that.
No.
Yeah, we have
more of
not
Jessica
gotten that.
Because look at IMDb
Voice.
and look at the writers.
Yep.
They have no experience. No, little to none. The vast majority of these
Well, they have no
writers at Marvel
credited
have little to
experience.
none.
That's the thing with IMDb.
It's not
They only
even
report stuff
experience.
that's
Credited, at least credited.
I'm so bored watching it. I usually just try to think up how many sex toys She-Hulk could use at the same. I'm sitting there
Oh
thinking,
my God, George!
I love it,
I'm
George.
bored. I'm like, what else is there to do? I'm like, okay,
No.
is she gonna get a stripper pole? No. Is they gonna like? she
Don't
could
worry, George.
advertise-
That's coming. That's
It'd
coming.
probably coming. What pisses me off more is that it's not that they don't have any credits or they don't have any experience. It's that these people, even when they get the job, they don't research the product. They don't research the
I
IP. They
don't
don't
dedicate
give a
themselves to
shit.
getting it, yeah.
They don't.
Yeah,
They
but
just
that
care
we see
about
that
their
on Rings of
agenda,
Power.
man.
You
Like,
see that.
message.
You see that with
The
Rings of
message.
Power. But you
Well,
see that
they
in all
put
the
that first
advertising.
as opposed to it being, say, like, if most stories do have a message, but they try to keep it as subtle as possible because the message is just supposed to motivate the characters. It's not supposed to be in your face. It's not supposed to be preachy. It's supposed to be,
so true.
I think it's really bad for us to go around and start killing people because a computer tells us to. That's their message. Like, that's the abstract of a message, and that's going to be the story for it. But instead, what we're getting is a very lazy, on-the-nose set of dialogue that's saying, you know what, I'm a derivative of the Hulk. That sucks. I really wish I had a job. That sucks. No one's going to hire me. Oh, my uncle just took a dig at me because his pathetic nephew has got a manager promotion at the Best Buy. So he puts a
show
in
chat
front of it.
respect. Show chat respect.
I don't know who Chet is. I've never seen him in any of the comics. Granted, I didn't read past 1996 when it came to She-Hulk stuff. So if he came in after the fact, I don't care.
200 Watt Studio for 5 says Doctor Strange's cloak has more personality
so
than
good.
this She-Hulk, and that's very freaking true. I actually really like Doctor
It
Strange.
almost feels like some of these people are sacrificing their credibility as creative talent in exchange for the message. They don't even care anymore. Some of these writers are good, but you're not seeing it because they have to push this particular agenda and wrap the entire story around it in the
maybe they
worst
don't have
possible way,
talent.
in the cheapest, laziest, quickest way possible. Same thing with the acting. Some of these actors are actually good, but they're phoning it in because they don't have anything to work with in the first place. And they're
like
not really
Tatiana
passionate.
Maslany. She's phoning it in at this point because it's like, what do I got? What do I got here? What am I
is
working
happening?
But look at it. But we see it everywhere. It's not only in Disney. Like I was just mentioning a second ago, Rings of Power. You got these two showrunners who keep talking about how they love Tolkien, how they're going to remain faithful to Tolkien, and then everything they've done in the show is everything but Tolkien.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know if they convince themselves, because Scott brought up earlier, they don't do their research. And I wanted to ask Script, none of the modern writers in the studios actually research the material or the fandom behind them or anything. It's like they know nothing about it. It's like a marketing department hands them, say these lines believably, you know.
It's inclusive. It's
Well,
inclusive.
you're talking about assignment work, and assignment work basically means if you have a great agent and manager and a solid pitch with regards to what they're asking to be written, doesn't matter how well you know the material, you get the job. And because you get the job based on that pitch, your ego says, "Oh, you're good enough to actually do this."
Okay.
You don't have. Why do you have to research anything? You just got the job. Like, you clearly are qualified as it is. You don't have to do any more work. That's the mentality I'm seeing with a number of writers. Not all of them, but a number of them. Dave Callahan is one. He did Mortal Kombat. He did Wonder Woman 1984. He did Zombieland 2. I mean, this guy. He also did Shang-Chi. He gets a lot of work because he's got good connections and a good agent, but he's a terrible writer. If we want to see the movie that actually started making his career, because he originally wrote the Doom with The Rock way back. He did a cartoon script called America, and it was on Netflix. And it's basically George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. They're best friends, even though they're like 60 years apart in time. And it's just a whole bunch of really low-hanging fruit jokes, but it got people interested in him, and he started getting work, and he's writing a lot. And it also goes back to the IMDb thing. It doesn't even matter how many credits you have. If most of those credits are terrible, you're not going to be good at your job. I mean,
Right.
he's a good assignment writer because he does what he's told and he can do it in a very short amount of time. That's all that matters. If he was, say, someone like, which is terrible, if he was someone like, say, Nicholas Mayer, who is an accomplished author, television writer, and film writer who wrote Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, you know, he dedicated himself to figuring out who these characters are so he could actually tell a story with them. William Goldman's the same way with that. When he was doing Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, he was researching these criminals, figuring out who they were.
But it seems like they don't want that, though. They don't want these writers and directors and actors to actually be fans or become fans of these IPs.
Becoming a fan isn't better than being an existing fan, because becoming a fan allows you to get away with more. Being an existing fan, you're always going to say, oh, I can't do that. It's not true to the character. And then you're going to cite all this material that may be in conflict with the IP anyways. And the producer's like, I don't care. Like, if this is going to be difficult because of this, then you're going to be fired. But if you become the fan doing it, you have a better argument because, like, listen, I wasn't a fan of this. I know you want to go for this particular goal. In my research, this is the best way to achieve that goal. Sometimes fans don't understand that concept because they're so rooted to the fandom of what it is, and I don't blame them for that.
But if it contradicts their agenda, they're still not going to be able to do it.
There's also that too, yeah. I mean, if the writer themselves has an agenda, which a writer technically shouldn't have an agenda other than telling the best story they can with the characters that they have.
Which we know now that this writer, She-Hulk's writers, specifically has this weird feminist agenda, and it's clearly been inserted into the show. She doesn't care about the source material. She just cares about her message and this man-hating, patriarchy sucks, whatever the hell her message
he was actually encouraging because he gets Jen away from the terrible family dinner. It's like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And then she vents at him and he takes it like a dad should, which is listening and offering some advice and trying to give her
shitting on the Hulk.
Well, I mean, he didn't really shit on the Hulk. He just made fun of the fact that he's like, we've already dealt with a Hulk in the family. At least you didn't destroy a city. That's not really crapping or shitting on the Hulk. That's
but it is because the Hulk was actually controlled by Scarlet Witch, and wasn't under their own mind.
No, he's referring to the Incredible Hulk, the one against the Abomination.
I didn't take it like that. I thought it was the Scarlet Witch.
I thought it was
too.
Yeah, I thought that was what it
but
was.
But in either case, why not use him as a positive reference? Like, yes, we have a Hulk in the family, and look what he's become. He's a hero. He sacrificed so much. You're going to go through as much as he did, probably. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot. But he came through it, and he's a better person, and he's done so much for the world and so much for our family. And you can become just like him someday. Like, why not use him as an inspirational thing instead of low-key
trash? It shows a male in a positive light, and that's not what they want to do.
Because she's the neo-feminist and she wants to put down any male character there is. That's her MO. It's like, it's no longer about, let me write a good story about She-Hulk. It's like, I don't think she gives a shit about She-Hulk. I don't even know if she's ever read a She-Hulk, like the original one, because I know she's read the other, like the SJW one, but
they also trash Hawkeye in this. He leaves his arrows all over the place.
Oh yeah, he leaves his arrows all
not
over
the exploding ones.
Oh my God, yeah, he's pretty
fucking
careful.
were.
I wish it would blow up the MCU. Motor Watch Studios for 2 says that's the only line that made me laugh. He's referring to the It line. Screw you, 201 Studios. But also for $10 says, have we talked about the She-Hulk tie and bruise kit makeup they are selling now?
What?
It ties into the first episode where the floozies cover her bruises with makeup. Think Amber Heard. Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, well, there's I know there's She-Hulk. They've released this She-Hulk range of makeup.
Really? Oh my God, I did not know about this at all.
Have you been abused, beaten up by a man?
Yes.
Then buy this She-Hulk makeup and cover it up and dress up as a whore.
Even your grandmother couldn't tell. You know, it's like, what the fuck?
To be fair, they do have palettes for pretty much every movie.
That's
and
true.
TV series.
That is true. That is true.
I took a photo. Oh, somebody sent me a photo anyway of just like Marvel products, and it was just like toys that were on discount, and then underneath it was just this range of Marvel makeup. And I'm just like, I really don't think you know what your audience truly is.
No.
I know you know what you want your audience to be.
Yep.
But that's not.
But they also want the men to start using the makeup, though. That's the thing. They're like, please, men, start using this makeup.
But they're not even good palettes most of the time.
They're terrible.
For all the inflammatory tweets that I put out recently about Marvel and all this kind of stuff and derogatory stuff about that, the one tweet that got me the biggest reaction was when I called out lack of masculinity.
Oof.
And that was just like I'd lit a fucking litmus paper test on it. They went nuts about that. Absolutely fucking people were going crazy about that. And it was the one that I said about there is a distinct lack of masculinity around nowadays. Men are femmy, men are subservient. Women are bitches, women are assuming the masculine role. And I said, this is why we're having problems because the normal. And I put because it's like 2:00 in the morning. I wrote this. I wrote gender roles, but I wrote role ROLL as
gender role.
Gender roles, yeah. So there were some people that just like, oh, I love my gender roles with a side of salad and stuff. And I was thinking, hey, that's fine.
Yes.
Because if the only thing that you can rib that tweet for is the fact that I did a little misspelling at 2:00 in the morning, then that says you can't really pick fault with the rest of it.
That's true, man.
So
That's
true.
brilliant.
They are ankle biters.
I was curious, what was that spaceship, or who were they that took Hulk away? I'm just curious because
they're taking them to planet. It's some I don't know the name.
Sakara.
Yeah, they're taking it to planet. It's going to be the Planet Hulk storyline, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Who's they? I thought he was alone on that ship.
He talked about it in the first episode. It was like a messenger, and I think you could only see him in the ship, but I believe there was
someone's piloting it.
Probably a pilot, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So back to
it's an intergalactic. It's an interstellar taxi. That's what.
So
thanks for letting us know, She-Hulk show about
which
whoever.
explains why it caused an accident. So yeah.
So is that back to what do you call it? Where they were in Ragnarok?
Yes. Yep, that's the same. The trash planet. It's the trash planet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 200 Watt Studios for 10 says, yeah, if there was a moon-sized hand and head sticking through the atmosphere, we would have a side blurb on an obscure website. We would be dealing with massive geological events and hellish tides, etc.
Well said.
That's true.
Did you like the way that it took Icarus about 5 seconds to fly into the sun when it probably would have taken him about 19 years?
That's true.
He must fly really, really quickly.
Well, I mean, it's not even just that. The size of that thing coming out of the ocean. Now, think about how deep the oceans are. It would like send water, tsunamis everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, tidal waves. It would change the map forever. I'm sorry.
It would kill us all.
Change the gender, change the map. What's the difference?
Everything. Everything.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll get back to the super chats in just a little bit because I want to finish this.
What gender is this celestial?
I want to finish this.
Don't
episode.
assume.
Oh, that pronouns.
Don't you dare assume.
Oh my god!
Did
Did you see that Wizards of the Coast just 1 second where they race swapped Aragorn? That video. Did you see right underneath that lady's name the lady who comes out to say hi, I'm blah 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 with Wizards of the Coast? It says pronouns she her, and they all had that. Each
They're
one
doing
of
that
them.
with
I was like,
They're doing that with everything.
The Navy.
Sandman too.
Yeah.
You know when Kamala Harris went, I am Kamala Harris, I am a female, I am wearing a blue dress, my pronouns are she her.
She's a biologist?
All for apparently so. That is for all of this is for that. They're saying the color of the stuff for people who are visually impaired. They're giving the pronouns for the mentally ill.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris is out there for comedy. So
I'm
my God.
interested to know. And this is a slightly off topic, but it's related
Please
to
be.
that. And
We
it's
are
better
off
than the
topic.
We're
show.
so
We're
far.
so off topic, Jane. It's
I'm
okay.
interested to because no one has brought up yet that she's
Yeah.
a member of a sorority.
Who?
That
She's-
Kamala.
Hulk is?
Oh, Kamala. Yeah. Oh.
She-Hulk? What does this come in?
You mean Kamala?
this
Yeah. She's
The
part of the
debate
high
has
heel
been-
hoe club.
Only in the primary debates they brought it up.
Yeah.
That's the only time I heard it.
It's an organization that still excludes
Yes.
trans men and all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's for women by women. That's the origin. And no one has yet, quote unquote, challenged her or pushed her back on
What are you
that.
going to challenge her? It may not even
Well,
be
why
real.
would you get men into a female sorority?
Fucking a mega
That's
moves.
the question. Like that hasn't been pushed to her yet.
Oh, Michael Rosenbaum has a movie about that.
About what? Oh.
Yeah, it's
About-
about sorority. It's Sorority Boys. He made a terrible comedy.
That was horrible.
This shocks me.
Wow.
There was one that I saw when I was younger where there was there was this guy who painted himself black so he can get into college. It was a
Oh no, yeah, it was called Soul Man.
Soul Man.
He
Soul
took
Man.
tanning pills, dude. Thomas C. Howell at his
Thomas,
best.
Yeah. I used to. We watched that as a kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that I was yes.
It was
What year
a
did that come out? 80s, right? So I was probably like
83 maybe.
Yeah,
no,
around
later than that. I would say like 86, 87. Soul Man definitely like 80 because it was after Lost Boys, after all or not Lost Boys, excuse me.
86.
Yeah, 86. Okay. So I was 8 years old and I watched that movie. Like with my
I was
dad
one.
and my like family and we were all laughing and now it would be like you're racist.
Yeah, you couldn't make that today.
No, you couldn't. Okay, so then she gets a job offer from her fucking boss at a bar again.
I was 10.
Well,
What am I
her,
Just gets a jump off from her
The
boss.
new guy.
her,
I'm telling
her
you,
new
the-
boss, the guy that like the guy that she
Her
in the
opposing
case.
counsel.
Her,
Yes.
Yeah, her opposing counsel.
Oh, hold on, Nina.
Mhm.
Where did he offer her the job?
At the bar.
At the bar,
At the
baby.
bar.
Because that's where
At
she
the
lives.
bar.
I'm telling you,
Open
the-
all hours, folks. Attorneys, bars, firing and hiring, attorneys,
Yeah.
lawyers, public defenders, deputy, what you call them, deputy
Mayors,
Prosecutors.
everything.
DAs.
People whose lives are so
district
boring
attorneys.
they have to drink
Deputy district
constantly.
Let's just, yeah.
I'm telling you, this writer
This-
was in love with Charles Bukowski. Everything's in a
This
bar.
is where the real work goes down.
The
Dun, dun,
writer is
dun.
clearly also an
Bar.
alcoholic.
Yeah, that's it. She's an
Bukowski,
alcoholic.
good call.
It's because she hasn't got a
Drinking is a
man,
staple
and
of
so
writing.
alcohol is filling the role of a male in her life.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a cope. It's definitely a cope. This lady, I tell you, needs to get a dildo. Like for real. though.
See, we were
Seriously, like,
thinking the
get-
same thing.
does.
But
She
she's
talked to
sleeping
her.
with
Which
every other
side?
dude she
Both
comes in
sides?
contact with.
Sorry, what was that, Jane?
She's sleeping with every dude she meets.
And when you take a look at that living room, there's an awful lot of pillows around.
now,
so I don't think she
Jane,
really needs any more
We're
toys.
just about to get to that, mate.
Yeah, we're about to get there. My God, I can't believe the next episode's gonna be like basically about her like tendering people. Like this is gonna be fucking
So stupid.
So she's gonna what? Carry around the dudes, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
and then
we've already seen
she's
it,
going to
and-
break their penises with her
Oh,
Oh my
vagina.
God.
He's
You know
gonna-
some pelvises are gonna break. You
Oh my
know that's gonna
God.
happen.
And pelvis,
Uh,
if you're lucky, it's just that's going to be the only thing that breaks.
Yeah, if you can snap a penis, an erect penis. That can be, you can snap it.
Oh
can
my
crush it, too.
God.
That's not a myth.
That
It's
made
true.
my like groin area hurt.
It
and I
made
don't
mine
have
too.
one.
It made
I
mine
don't
too.
have one. I promise. I don't have
It's
one.
Yeah.
severe muscle tear, essentially.
No Kegel exercises, please.
Ouch. Oh my God. But yeah, so she lives at the bar. So when she's not like getting drunk at home, she's at the
Boring.
bar, her second home, where she
Yeah.
just continuously gets drunk.
Death by
Continually gets drunk.
swooning.
And is wearing an oversized scarf in LA.
Right.
I didn't even think about that. That is so true.
Hey,
Um,
it's cold in Toronto.
it's called chic.
I
It
don't think
actually
she's gonna-
really is. I was just downtown not like the other day.
She-Hulk.
I wish it was cold.
Yeah. So then she gets the job. She goes there, and they're like, "You have to be like actually She-Hulk the whole time." Because
Luckily,
you
she wore a
know,
very baggy suit so she could hulk out and not have any of her clothes rip.
Right, but how does that happen though? There's no spandex in them. You always had even that little detail is missing. It's like you
Well, she
had
was wearing the suit that she's wearing was 2 sizes too big for her when she's walking into that.
right, but
yeah, but it
Hulk was
should have been
much
2
bigger.
sizes too long too, because it was only
Yeah.
like wide, but it like wasn't
It
tall.
became. She was wearing like
grows.
what are those capri pants or whatever the heck?
Yeah.
Or they weren't
it's,
stretchy.
yeah, like that Kenobi was wearing.
That's hilarious, Jane.
And sad.
You would know, Jane. You would.
That is true.
know.
Yes.
That's insane.
Writer-
there was this
lawyers
scene
and
here.
writers drink a lot.
Oh, look at
This
all those white
scene.
boys! Look at all those
This
white
scene.
boys! Them old white boys.
I guess those are the partners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Oh man, that
and
office
she
really
just
cheaped out on the lighting.
assumes she's a racist because she just assumes because of their color and gender that they didn't earn their positions.
Yep.
She's also
bigger.
assuming. She's also assuming their race and gender.
Yep.
Oh,
She's basically giving us the monologue that Jessica Gao was
Based.
thinking when she walked through the Marvel offices for the first time.
Jane.
You know, she because she's a woman in modern day, she thinks she should be given that immediately, without
God, it's true.
any struggle
She
whatsoever. or
literally
whatever.
just got there and she's already judging everybody there.
Yeah.
She's such a cunt. This girl is such a cunt. I can't stand her. Like,
Yep.
I'm like, you are so unlikable, like in every single way possible. I can't like you in any way. And then, I was feeling her friend a little bit. Like, I was like, all right, the friend's all right. And then this scene happened, and I was like, oh, so you're just a shallow bitch too. Like, you don't care about anything.
No,
except what she got
Nina. You see, she came with the rest of the fucking office.
Yes.
She's furniture.
Yeah, good call.
It's
She
just
doesn't
furniture that
exist.
walks- Yeah, it's just furniture that walks and talks. That's all.
It's like when She-Hulk
Coordinated
leaves.
with the floor lamp over there behind her.
Well, it's not even that. When She-Hulk leaves, she ceases to exist.
Yeah,
You
she
know?
vanishes.
She's gone.
Oh, it would
It's like
be
the
wonderful
emergency
if
medical
she were-
hologram in Star Trek.
If she were a hologram, or if she were basically a Tyler Durden alternate personality.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
That would have been way better.
Way better.
Good, then they can stop punching each other.
She's like, oh
Which,
my
tongue
god,
pu-
you
tongue
got a
punching?
fridge. Like, look
Punch,
at the
punch,
fridge
punch.
with all the drinks
Oh
in there.
my god, look at
We
those
can
eyes!
do at work.
Fucking, Whammon.exe has crashed.
There's her filing cabinet.
She doesn't
That
have
is-
one. It's in her.
It's
Hey,
all-
look,
That's in the file
sparkling water.
room.
Have you ever seen sparkling water before?
The oh
Holy
my god, yeah,
shit.
she doesn't hydrate. The filing cabinet is clearly this dude right here that walks in, which
Oh,
is
the poop guy?
He's
male.
been filed all right.
He's the filing cabinet right here, is the beta male that walks in. So
Hi.
here's your
Like, hi,
basket.
man, lick your
Bye.
feet. Now you can walk all over me. Whatever.
Well,
you
it
need.
pisses me off because they always show beta males in vests now. And vests are kind of cool. And it's like, stop showing just beta males in it. Let's get like, fucking James
Well,
Bond's
where's your
destroyed.
Hell's Angels vest? Put it on.
God damn it, Scott! I'm about to kick you off this stream for saying vests are
Dude,
cool.
a three-piece suit is a good-looking thing if you do it right. I am sorry, it's classic.
Yeah, but no, he's got a two-piece suit and a cardigan on.
Is that a cardigan?
Yeah.
It probably
It's
would
close
be now.
enough. It's close. It's close enough.
Close enough.
It
Those
really
cardigans
is.
like
are
a
not masculine.
grandpa vest on. Like, what is
Okay,
that?
I'm
He's got,
talking
like-
three-piece.
Oh my god.
With a vest underneath, nice, old school James Bond look is classic. It's clean, it's beautiful. This guy, all these betas just make it look like they take it off, they then put on lipstick when they're sitting on their couch, like screaming at their mother's phone, and it's not even like ringing. I don't know.
Oh
what
my
I'm
god!
talking
Real
about.
quick, this is hilarious. 200 watt studios for 5. My favorite line was when they told Jen they were the partners, and she said, "Which one of you will be my partner tonight?" Oh my
Oh,
Oof, hey-oh.
that's why they stood up and high-fived. They all they were just going to run a train on her. That's what it-
Oh my god!
I'd watch it. What?
Jesus
Damn
Christ.
it, Scott!
What?
Jesus
What?
Christ!
Did I say that out loud? Sorry.
So then,
On that, I got to get going, actually.
on that,
On that
that
note,
note,
Before
are you
you're
leaving?
arrested.
on that note, before I get your channel taken down. So yeah, I gotta get going. It's House of the Dragon.
You're gonna watch a train, huh?
House of Dragon. It's House of the Dragon time,
Okay.
and my channel is a Song of Ice and Fire channel. It's in its DNA, so I gotta go.
I understand, Scott. Thank you for being here, and let everyone know where they can find you before you leave.
Yeah, it's just Sporky News Podcast on YouTube and all the other things too. So
Okay, there
I
you go.
appreciate it. Love you,
Have a good
Nina.
one. Have
Later,
fun.
Az. Bye,
Jane,
everybody.
are you gonna go
Bye.
too?
Yeah.
Okay. Love you,
All right.
Jane. Thank you. Tell
Great
everyone
to
where they
see you,
can find
Jane.
you, Jane, before you leave. And also, if you have anything coming up.
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube. I
Ladies.
post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jane Theory.
Yay! And Jane does reviews every week with As She-Hulk, so
I
make sure
do.
you check that out. They do it right away. So check it out if you
Yeah.
if you
When
want.
we're
If you
as
need to
emotionally
know.
damaged as you're ever gonna get us.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, Jane, for coming on.
Have a
Take
great
care.
weekend.
Enjoy
See
the
y'all
episode.
later.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Fuck House of
So I
Dragon.
feel like we're in Survivor.
Okay.
But nobody voted them to go.
Yeah.
We adore them.
Okay. You know what's weird is I've totally forgotten what happens in this scene.
Winner
and I'm
gets to kill
watching it.
themselves.
I forget what they were talking about in
the
this scene.
punchline of the scene is he has a map on a
Poo-poo
A map
or
posted
fart?
card
to
that's
show the
best
toilet to go
washroom.
pooping.
Yeah, the best toilet. It wasn't that what he said. The best toilet to go poop in. It was the weirdest line. Who would write that?
Nobody. George, nobody would write that at all.
Like I've never heard that in cinema.
If there's
or
a
television.
map for the best toilet, wouldn't it be occupied? Wouldn't that bathroom be occupied all the time because everybody would know it's the best and then they
Right.
go there? So then you have to find a new best one. There's a lot of weird logic to that.
Maybe he only tells the women, and of course, because women can't get a job in these places. And then, it wouldn't be great though. I mean, it wouldn't be great at all.
I don't
By
know
the
if a
way,
man hands
this
a
is an
woman a
incoming
card for
joke.
that,
By
I
the
would
way,
ex-
wouldn't
I
it
would
be funny
expect there
if
a camera in that bathroom?
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, if she went to that bathroom to go for it, and he was just like in there going, right, you and me. And she's like, whoa, camera, you know, the whole. Then it'd be like, okay, he was not a nice person.
Right.
He would be like that guy in They Them, you know, that random janitor guy that was like watching those.
Oh,
women
you got
in
all
the
the cameras and the God. I
Hey,
know
person
that.
who's clearly behind me, can you shush? Because I'm trying to masturbate.
Hey, we have a surprise guest. It's Literature Devil. Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
I wasn't expecting you to be here. Hi.
Well, you know, I haven't actually watched She-Hulk, but then I thought about it, I was like, do I really need to watch it in order to know what happens? It's
really.
always the same stuff. Like, do I really need to watch She-Hulk to know she's the best as ever? Like, I don't think so.
Are you the literature angel today?
Yes.
This is how you're gonna find out what the episode was about anyway by watching this, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I forgot. I'm a literature angel. I came on here because you're all being sexist, and I wanted to defend the honor of Mrs. She-Hulk. She's strong and independent and goes through all the troubles.
Wait, did you say Mrs.? Because she's married to herself? Is that?
Yes, that's a thing. That's a thing.
She's married to the patriarch.
I mean, what's her name? Emma Watson did it. I forgot what it was called. Like
Yeah,
they
Emma
married
Watson.
themselves.
Yeah, Emma Watson did do it. Yeah.
You can't qualify
Oh,
these tax breaks
that's
like that.
great because I can now tell her to go fuck herself and she won't take offense.
Wait a minute. Are y'all being serious?
No, yeah.
Emma
Yeah,
Watson
she
did
was
that.
the first one that did it, I think. She was like,
Well,
I'm marrying
myself.
Right, that's
myself.
it. I've heard enough.
How do you?
They're marrying ghosts.
I mean, I heard that crazy shit with Gwyneth Paltrow years ago, where she says, "Where I'm not divorcing my husband, I'm decoupling." I'm like, what the fuck is decoupling?
Don't
If
listen
she
to Gwen
named her
Paltrow. She
kid
named
Apple.
her child after a fruit.
Yeah, thank you, script doctor. You
Somebody
feel
And then
me?
on top of that,
somebody married
these types of situations were used as premises for comedy in shows like Boston Legal, where this one woman wants to marry her iPhone. I mean, they're just showing how obscene and crazy people can be, and if they have the money and the dedication and to follow it through, there will be someone who will represent you to make sure it all happen, and they'll cash your check.
I never watched that. I have to watch that.
What?
Boston Legal.
It's okay. It
Oh,
hasn't
Boston Legal.
quite aged as well as you'd hope. It's a
Gotcha.
David E. Kelly show. They don't hold up well after their air dates too well.
So then She-Hulk goes to this prison to meet with her new client,
Yeah.
which, by the way, was completely like this scene made no sense because they're like, "Oh, you have to like not be a Hulk when you enter the prison."
No powers, and then you
That
have
was
this
weird.
laser thing that just opens up automatically for you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that opens up automatically for everyone. Is it? like I don't understand the logic behind the laser grid thing that just
It was just for show.
opens when you
I
walk
didn't
through
get it either because I was like, okay, so is it saying that it's only passing for people who are human because, you know, like because he made her like power down or whatever? But also,
It's a lot
wouldn't
to
it
infer.
like, yeah, well, wouldn't it also it didn't make sense because she has Hulk blood. So
Right.
if her blood is no longer like human blood, then wouldn't it not work if it's about humans, if it's supposed to like just let humans through? Like I mean, she still has radiated blood, right? That's the whole fucking point of the show, is that the blood made her into She-Hulk.
But she could also turn into the She-Hulk right after she just got past the barrier. I mean, what are they going to do?
If she had to, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like,
Exactly.
stop it. No.
That was my question too, George, because I'm like, okay, so, but she can willingly change. So why the fuck would it matter if, you know, she
I don't know. This was a crazy scene. The lasers just reminded me of something my grandmother had when I was growing up. This like, she had this.
Your grandma had lasers?
No, she had this She had this light which had these strings and oil would run down it. I just used to fuck with it all the time. You know what I'm talking about? You see those lights?
No.
You turn on the light. It's like a lamp. And it had these strings around it, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. I was obsessed with those too as a kid. I love those things.
That's what it reminded me of. The lasers, because I was like, "What purpose do they play?" She just walked right through it.
There's
Walk
no
right
purpose.
through it. Don't get it in your eyes.
No, it's like, and then Tim Roth.
I've
I've loved Tim Roth since Reservoir Dogs and seen everything. This year, it was kind of disappointing. He was
Tim Roth
better
is
than
great. I liked him in the underrated classic, I think, called The Musketeer. He plays the bad guy.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
forgot about that. Okay, so in this scene too, there's also a point where she crosses that line, like this line here, and then like something happens, like this, like kind of the thing goes up or whatever. She's like, oh no, you can't like cross that. You can't cross that line. So I guess that was kind of like showing how weird it is for this dude to be able to break out. Because like, how is he breaking out then if there's like all these?
Wong can teleport him.
Wong. That's
because
right.
he was in Shang-Chi, and those two were fighting each other, and they're buds.
Was that to set it in? Was that for our benefit, basically, for the audience benefit, to say when the time period is taking place during Shang-Chi? Is that what that scene?
I think it's
for?
after it, or at least around that period, yeah, because that the clip that they use in the show is a scene clip from Shang-Chi.
I know, but
I didn't see Shang-Chi, so I didn't catch that.
Yeah, neither did I. But I got the feeling that he escaped, and that's exactly like he was then later there, like the next day. Like I figured someone teleported him or took him or whatever.
See, this is again another case where this dude's like a great actor, and now he's involved in such a shitty show. It's like, what are you
Eric
doing?
Idle there.
It's supposed to be like Marvel's Hannibal Lecter, because they keep him in the glass.
Abomination.
Always behind the glass.
Yeah, kind of literature devil. Yeah, because he is the abomination. And then they make jokes about how he's abomination from like another time, because she calls her cousin the Hulk because she's like, I'm gonna get his approval, and then turns out to be a complete bitch and just talks over him the whole time. And she didn't really care about getting like his opinion at all. She was just calling to tell him what she was doing. Kind of reminds me of how what that writer was saying at the beginning of the show. We talked about how she treats Kevin Feige. That kind of translates into the scene actually. Like, oh, I'm just gonna talk to my, more wise cousin. Like, I don't really give a shit about his opinion at all. I'm just gonna tell him what's up. Like that.
Right.
That's basically what I'm doing right now. And apparently that's how the writer treats Kevin Feige. So there you go. Mystery solved.
Broken man is a good man. It's the only good man. Just be broken. She is talking to Nutless Hulk.
Right. Oh, yes. That's a perfect one, Nutless. I've been calling him Beta Hulk, but Nutless is good. I even thought they'd have a big, a Hulk phone for him that Stark would have made one. Look at that little thing. It's just
I would like it better if he did he loses his balls and he can't transform into Hulk anymore, and this Hulk comes from testosterone. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, now I know why she turns green.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
She took his balls? Okay.
Who's that girl? Or maybe a trans man. Who's
Guys,
that?
the testosterone in her bloodstream is what allows her to transform into the.
Oh
I mean, at this rate, I'm
no.
waiting for like her to believe
Testosterone
it.
in her that she swallows.
Oh my god.
A lot of it. That would be an interesting plot point. What if she loses the Hulk powers and when she has to service men in order to get her Hulk powers back?
Oh,
mainly by swallowing.
You know
Fucking
what? That's
blow.
probably what's gonna happen. That's why she's signing up for fucking Tinder and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna bang every guy now."
That'd be a cool plot point to get into her whore mode instead of just her being a whore. It could just be like, oh, she needs to sleep with all these men in order to swallow their vitamins, and then she's able to transform into the Hulk again.
Sounds like all the good
It's
old
cheaper than
Marvel
taking
ideas.
like testosterone pills. That's for sure. You get free food out of it.
Oh my god!
And hair in strange places.
Christ. All right. So yeah, the Hulk's on the ship. He's like, I'm going somewhere, and then he like doesn't really say where he's going because it just gets the phone call gets cut off, and I'm like, how do you even have fucking service in space? I'm not really sure how that works, but okay. We'll just go with that.
Just long enough for Jen to fucking say her fill.
Exactly.
But she doesn't give a shit about her cousin. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, she doesn't care about him at all, and there's some sort of weird, I guess galactic phone because I guess he goes to another galaxy, and then that's why they can't keep. Who fucking cares? I hate this show.
He's going away. That's all we need to know. He's going away.
He's gone. He's
I at least thought the CGI would be done properly. Everything else, forget everything else. It's Marvel today. It's shit. But the CGI is horrible on top of it all.
And that's what Jane was saying earlier. Like, there's really this show really offers nothing. Like, not even visually, not even anything visually. And so the Hulk was saying like, oh yeah, this dude sent me an email and we made up and we're friendsies again. Don't worry. So you can take his case. And she was like, I was already gonna. And so she did. And so she told her boss like, yeah, I'm taking the case. And the guy's like, well, you might have some problems on your hands because guess what? This thing is on the news. And so she turns on the TV.
She said, I've already, hi boss, taking the job. I've already got a 100% foolproof plan for us to win this.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, you might want to turn on the TV.
Yeah, and then we get into the.
You might want to turn on the TV.
It would be pretty cool if like it just did go into like a John Grissom style like legal drama, but that would take brain work to do.
No,
it would, but they actually missed out on a really great joke, which would be she turns on the TV and she misses the segment. And she tells her boss, oh, I just missed the segment. He's like, okay, well, I'll be back in about 45 minutes, so hang tight. And then she has to do something because it's always the trope where turn on the TV and it's exactly what is needed to be heard at the exact moment, as if the person who's telling her was literally from the future, knowing exactly what details they're going to hear because the news report is like, no, let's do it like when you're trying to watch CNN or MSNBC or whatever. Turn on the TV, you come at the very last 3 seconds of the segment, but because it's the 24-hour news network, it's the same stories repeated every hour, so you just got to wait. So now she has to watch the rest of that news program, which she hates and despises, and you can do like a fast forward montage of her like groaning and whatnot until a segment shows up, and she's like, oh great, the abomination breaks out. Wonderful.
Oh, there it is. Meanwhile, in the background, you hear explosions.
It's like 45 minutes later, and she's got
just like drinking vodka, trying to get through the horrible news.
Because she's already a fucking drunk anyway. I mean, this lady's like Barney from The Simpsons.
Explosions happening.
Did you see that scene? Can you bring that back, Nina?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I still haven't seen She-Hulk, but I assume she needs to smile more. That's my main critique.
Oh my god!
But did you notice the fact that how hypocritical Hollywood is? They have the black guy behind the white woman.
Oh my god!
That's what they always do. Like it's like, oh, they're promoting whatever voices, but it's always the dynamic is always a submissive black man and a dominant white woman. It's always like that.
That's what Jay Longbone was talking about too, when she was getting attacked in episode 1, and the lead attacker was the black dude.
I mean, it's almost as if they don't really want to uphold any voices. It's almost as if these white women have fetishes and are just trying to disguise their fetishes as moral crusades.
There you go. That's a good one. I could see that.
I think that was
it. Yeah, I think that was it. And then you have that one extra scene where what is it? She's helping her
Oh
family
my god,
out.
I'm talking and I'm muted. Yeah, and then that was it. And then you just have one extra scene where she's basically
Holding
She's
up the
doing
car while-
chores.
she's doing
Yeah,
chores.
she's holding up the car while
Oh my goodness.
Beta boy and
What a
Beta
hell of a
Bob.
life she has. Has to do chores like a normal person. Has to do chores like a plebeian.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
a
man.
woman. I don't want to do this thing.
Oh my god, I
Right.
think I broke
I'm
a
a
neck.
Californian
It is.
woman. I don't
The very fact that I have to like do chores and stuff means America has failed. Okay.
Yes. She has to
This
work.
is because you didn't let enough immigrants.
Yeah, and then the other funny part to me
Sorry,
was
I
like
mean slaves.
when
Oh, shit, no, I couldn't remember.
when the
Indentured
dad
servant.
gets her to put on the TV, and the dude that works for Best Buy, and he's like a Best Buy manager, is like, I could have done that.
Yeah,
That was like, nah, like
Yeah.
no, we're just gonna get fucking She-Hulk to do it because you're a fucking white male loser. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody cares about you.
Yep.
And that's the end. The end of She-Hulk episode 2.
Oh, I
hope
thought
y'all
you said
had
it was
fun.
the end of it. Oh no.
No, that was the end of the
I
episode.
can remember if you read the very first Spider-Man comic, like these heroes used to have actual problems, like
Yes.
not fitting into actual school, or like having actual bullies that pretty much everyone had at one point probably. But no, the everyday problem she has is being catcalled, having to do chores, having to
Yep.
be an adult.
Yeah, having to be an adult, I think is the right.
That's the main one. It's the
Yeah,
main
they had
problem.
him. Today it's about what is that comic 6 months ago, that new comic character that they had released who killed like some kind of stop and go manager because
It was the nature, the
antler
X,
thing.
yeah,
the
it's like,
nature is.
I gotta save the world and murder you.
It's
I
always
think all
about
the
spite.
X-Men are just murdering people, and everyone's clapping and saying "great."
And they're all
And
gay
then
now.
they go off and have a gala, yeah, and they're all fucking gay.
I
And they
just
have a
remember
gala.
that they don't know how to write heroes. And one example I remember from is like this example from Batwoman.
That's because they're villains.
They're all villains. They actually say
these
this.
puppies.
My Superman video, I listened to them, the women of Marvel. They legitimately say they all connect
Gail
more villains
Simone?
than heroes. They just outright say it.
Yeah, I know. It shows the terrible mentality that they're coming from. It's like they feel like they've been wronged and that the world has wronged them and that only they can solve the problems, which that's not what the hero wants to do. Like the hero is just reactionary to tragedy, and they're like, no, our reaction is to basically cause more harm and get revenge and vengeance. And
They've all been wrong
Yeah, and-
before, and like they sip their latte in Starbucks from their like $1,000 computer laptop or something.
Mhm. And that was something that Mahler brought up in his amazing video in Mother of Madness. He talked about that that they all think they're like villains now, and like the villain is like so misunderstood, and it's just so
The
it's
villain
very-
is the new hero.
It's
Yeah, that's
conflating. It's
Sorry.
conflating the motivation of a villain with sympathy, because if you understand why a villain's doing something, that's cool, but you don't have to be sympathetic to that. Like,
Right.
there's a big difference to it.
That's very true.
The planet is dying. Humanity will be extinct if we don't do something, and that in itself, you can be like, okay, this sounds
Right.
like a cause. So I'm going to kill 80% of the population to solve it. Ooh,
I'm the hero.
That is Kingsman. That's the
Well,
Kingsman plot. Yeah.
That was Thanos.
Yeah, that's a bad guy plan.
Yeah, it's a great bad guy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thanos was like, I'm just gonna wipe out half the galaxy.
Yeah,
And
but
just trying to wipe out other white
Watching
men.
these clips, listening to the dialogue and watching these clips, I thought if you wanted to save the show, just make it American Psycho, but
Yeah.
with like a female Hulk. Actually, beginning the show with like I am whatever her name is, 35 years old. I
Jennifer.
live in the Boston Gardens building or something like
And
that.
she loves listening to Annie Lennox instead of Huey Lewis in the music.
Exactly. In the
Oh
morning.
my
if,
God.
if my face is looking a
No,
little
it'd be
puffy.
Alanis Morissette. It'd be Alanis Morissette.
That's
It'd
true.
be,
Yeah, it
it'd be
wouldn't
so
be
much
so
better if
nice
this was
as
it'd be so much
Annie
more
Lennox in the
spot
heyday.
on if this
Yeah.
were just superhero American Psycho.
Interesting. I like
Because
that.
isn't it
And it could have been, funny because everyone would have been in on the joke.
Exactly. She could act exactly the same because she's just Patrick Bateman. That's all she
Yeah.
is. Self-absorbed, no real problems, all first world problems, and just a psycho.
Ever since I turned into the She-Hulk, life has been
Oh my God, that's literally describing the show, though. Like, that's fucked up. Okay, Kenneth Dowling, thank you so much for the $10. The showrunner of She-Hulk is just as irritating as the SR for WandaVision. Feige is allowing these people to ruin everything he's built. As a Marvel fan, I'm aggravated. Have a great night, everyone. Feige is
I don't care. Fucking you reap what you sow. Fuck. I don't give it.
Feige's a
I
little
have
now.
little time to give for multi millionaires in Hollywood going, oh, woe is fucking me.
That's
know?
how I felt about George Lucas when he came out and he was like, "Oh, I don't like the sequel trilogy," and I'm like, "Go fuck yourself."
So sorry with your $1 billion. Hope you can dry your tears. All you gotta do is say no, bro. Just say no.
Maybe you shouldn't have taken the $4 billion then, George.
That's also an American Psycho. Just say no. Just say no. All you gotta do, but they don't. So it's just, as they love to say, your words have consequences. This is consequence culture. Well, so do they. They have consequences as well. And not saying no has consequences.
A lot of girls. Never mind. Mr. Bug for $3 says, "Think Emil would be main bad guy or just a joke?" Who's it?
In this episode, he was unrecognizable.
Emil, the abomination.
Oh, the abomination. I'm gonna go with joke just because every single man is a joke now. So I'm gonna go with joke. What do you guys think?
Tough one. Because I think they'd quite enjoy seeing She-Hulk beat up the abomination.
Oh yeah.
They probably would, but the other part too is that she's technically fighting against the government, because her entire angle for the case is the government gave Emil Blonsky these drugs to turn him into the abomination, so they should be held responsible for his actions, and not like that's probably the argument they're going to go for, because they're trying to make
US
this Ally
government
McBeal type.
shit.
Yeah, which again, I think a lot of people get behind. That part, but
it probably turned out to be Titania.
I think Titania is like the running gag villain, if you want to call her that. She's the super villain social media influencer.
Super villain influencer. I wanted to punch my fucking monitor right there, but they're quite new. They're pretty new. They're only a couple of months old, so I really didn't want to.
Don't do that. That's when those bad people win. If they make you destroy your own property, that's when they win.
Just let them destroy their property, i.e., Marvel Comics.
Yeah, but just like I keep saying, like they want to make these shows to make us angry. Like, it angered the right people. But at the end of the day, I don't have to watch, or at worst I get angry for a little bit, while they're stuck with a multi-million-dollar bill to pay. So I think I won in the end.
That's a good point, because nobody's fucking watching this shit.
I'm not ruining my awesome stuff just because they made a bad show or movie. That's stupid. Exactly. I'm not going to injure myself because they made a bad show or movie. I'm not crazy.
That's what happened with Gary. Poor guy, he broke his monitor. He threw Andrew Garfield's head at it. 200 Watt Studios for 5 says, could have had her dad say, remind her that Hulk is a positive thing to have in the family. Tony Stark stood up for a god and said, we have Hulk. Wow. Yeah. Could have said something like that. But didn't. Slash Side for 5 says, in all seriousness, for once, look up Grand Sykes, Alabama. Great show, folks. I don't know what that is. Does anyone know what that is? Grand Sykes?
No. If I want a respite and weird, not so much great comedy, but just weird comedy, I usually watch 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
What is that?
Yeah.
What? 8 out of 10 is what?
I know what he's talking about.
It's a British show where comedians of very average to low intelligence try to come up with words from anagrams.
Wow.
I've never heard it.
Put that
like that, and it's pretty good.
No, it's actually quite inventive because.
Hey, remember when Jimmy Carr stood up on stage and did a comedy skit and said, "Who hasn't been vaccinated here?" And somebody put their hand up and he went, "You're a fucking idiot."
Wasn't he the comedian who was Speedo?
Beg your pardon?
Pull the S out. Wasn't Jimmy Carr the British? Isn't that the British comedian who was the Speedo?
No, he's the one that had a lot of material making fun of them, if I recall correctly.
Oh no! Jimmy Carr's not a he's not a Fredo.
There was the famous one. He had a children's show, and they just busted him a little while ago.
Rolf Harris.
Is that who it was?
Rolf
like,
Harris is one, and Jimmy Savile is another.
Savile,
You think of Jimmy
that's
Savile?
it, that's it.
Oh, they're Peter files. Oh, I get it. Okay.
They're Vito's.
Yeah.
That's right. They're Vito's. That's right. Easy E for 10 says the irony is that an MCU legal drama about the superheroes in court could be interesting. I agree. Like kind of like where they were going with Daredevil in Marvel Netflix show. Like they kind of had that because he was a lawyer.
They stayed out of the courtroom a lot in that series, unfortunately.
they did, but they could have kind of gone in that serious route and done that, but they're going to make him into a joke too. What if Spider-Man was a witness in this traffic accident because he had a bird's eye view? They just can't.
No, you can't because you can't call Spider-Man to the stand.
Yeah. You can't call him to the stand. He'd have to unmask himself.
Yeah, he would have to unmask himself. And
like in Civil War. I think the original Civil War comic. Like I think
he
can mask himself.
He was the first one. He was the first one.
Yeah. So I think it'd be kind of interesting because that would be an actual cool show. You would explore how the legal system would work in a world with superheroes, where like
it's already been done.
Yeah.
Do you know where it was done? Exactly. It was done in Batman 1966.
In fact, the pilot episode develops into that very thing.
The one with the Riddler, right? Where he has to reveal himself.
And
like,
the guy's mustache, the foreman's mustache is falling off.
Batman 1966. That's a really good show, actually. It's a lot of fun.
It has a lot of high comedy in it, if you really think about it. A lot of it.
It's got a very brilliant comedy in it. It's timeless and.
I bet you could watch a couple of episodes now and easily laugh.
I
have it once at She-Hulk, not once in 2 episodes.
Batman 1966, hilarious.
The only laughter I've had during She-Hulk has been of how ridiculous some things are. Like I'm just like
ironic laughter.
No,
yeah,
like
I'm
talking about laughing at a joke.
Yeah,
not laughing at the show for being shit.
How funny it is.
We're laughing at it, not with it.
It's actually worse than that one that they put out a few years ago that ABC. It was called Damage Control. Do y'all remember that? It was Marvel's.
No.
DC. Was it DC?
Was it DC? I thought it was Marvel.
It was Adam West's last live action performance.
It wasn't Marvel?
Yeah.
Jesus, I always get that confused.
Marvel,
Okay. Well, this is what it reminds me of. It was that kind of schlock.
Oh, okay.
I guess I'm here to send out the bat signal.
A bat signal, for listeners who might not know, refers to the children's character, the Bat Man, a strong gentleman who fights crime nocturnally.
That's correct. Well put.
Excellent.
Oh, it's such a good show. 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, sorry, the typo. I meant Tony stoop up to a god. Oh my God. You're so funny. And also for
I've never seen, but I know that's Parks and Rec, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've never seen Parks and Rec.
You gotta
oh,
watch
really?
it.
You gotta watch Az. You want a palate cleanser?
Fucking hilarious.
It is funny.
You want a palate cleanser from She-Hulk, dude? Watch Parks and Rec. You will love it.
Has the best pregnancy joke and the best WebMD joke.
Absolutely.
Both done by Chris Pratt.
By far. 200 Watt Studios for 2 says, how good will Daredevil be
Good question.
on this?
Terrible. See, episode 4. That's when he's turning up.
But haven't they changed him into the gold uniform?
Yeah, the Mark Waid.
I never liked that.
Well, no, it's the original uniform that was in the 60s that he had, which I always thought was a cool uniform.
Really?
Because it was more interesting than the solid red.
Why would he care about the color change, though? Isn't he blind? I don't get it.
Yeah, he's blind. But then, later in the 80s,
he's blind but fashionable.
A bunch of acids can hear colors now.
In the Thor versus Hulk Bill Bixby series, there is a Daredevil in a black outfit.
The black outfit's the cooler.
I love the black one. Yeah,
but
I wonder if they're going to keep him the same the way Netflix had him. Or
No. It's going to be Mark Waid's Flash,
which is terrible because Mark Waid is horrible.
Stupid. Yeah, Mark Waid. He lost it a long time ago.
Wow.
I only liked Kingdom Come because of the artwork, man. Like, and that's Alex Ross. That has nothing to do with
The writing's great in Kingdom Come, but the writing is
Come.
actually a mixture of Wade and Ross as well.
Kingdom Come is really good. I think I referenced that in my Superman video. It's actually pretty good.
Well, I think that the understanding of Superman was pretty good, but the rest of it felt like a contrived constance. I just never really got into it.
I think Kingdom Come is one of the best.
I love Kingdom Come, but I never read
miniseries
Wade.
ever created.
It is. I just never read Wade's Daredevil, so I've read
other Wade stories. It is dripping with soy usually.
Okay.
Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to bring up that's kind of She-Hulk related, but not really. It was that tweet that I posted as in the real BBC chat. What the hell is this? Like, what? By the way, I'm blocked by Dan Slott.
Dan Slott.
Same. Everyone is. He's a puss.
Yeah, I'm blocked too.
Has there ever been a bad casting choice in a Marvel Studios movie or show? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So we disagree there, Dan. Okay. Have they ever cast the person a big chunk of the internet was pushing for, or a fan site was throwing out there?
No.
Well, Christian Bale for Batman, but that's not Marvel.
They brought in John Krasinski for a minute and then shat all over him.
Well,
not really. I'll agree with Dan. I'll agree with Dan for not really.
I'll agree with that too. Not really.
My take, trust in Sarah Finn. No, well, that's a 50. You got a 50-50. It's divisive, Dan. It's divisive.
It's a divisive tweet. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one? Because I was like, what is this guy talking about? I don't know. I don't
think
know.
he's talking about casting in the MCU going forward because.
Oh God, we got Harry.
Well, I mean, have you seen? I mean.
But I think he was
representing Ironheart again.
Well, we have Harry. You told me last week, and I went and looked it up, and I couldn't fucking believe it. I should have never looked.
What is Sarah Finn casting Ironheart too? Because I know she did
I'll have a
She-Hulk.
look.
I know she did She-Hulk.
I have no idea. But
I go on to IMDb. Let's see what else you're doing. Oh, she's doing it all.
Oh wow.
She's casting the MCU.
Like all of it.
She's casted Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Blade, Agatha, Fantastic Four, the Secret Invasion, Echo,
everything.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, the new film, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Marvels, upcoming Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. She's done it all.
All of it.
I can't wait for the entire ranks of the MCU to be filled with frumpy, like middle-aged women and then chiseled hot men.
Yep.
and people and women who like to grow hair and call themselves he.
Exactly. Casting directors are a mix of terrible and brilliant at the same time. Like they're the evilest things because they have the most superficial approach to how they want to pick their cast. And then on top of that, they also have their agenda approach to it as well. Like it doesn't matter. The female ones are worse because they say stuff right to the men's faces. Like I've been in the room when they've literally asked like how big is their genitals. And I'm like, I've never heard a male casting director ask that about a woman in the room in front of everybody else.
How big was her hoo-ha?
How big is her titties?
Oh, yeah.
They don't have to ask that because usually all the actors come in with very tight form-fitting shirts.
but they're also willing to size up if the role calls for it. They'll just be like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Why would they keep this one person though for all of these shows? Even a little variety, like try somebody else.
Because it's a conveyor belt, George.
So
it's a conveyor belt. Every show feels the same. It looks the same. It sounds the same. This is meant to be a comedy, and it sounds no different to Hawkeye. Which sounds no different to the other.
It's got a television structure running, meaning that you have one casting director for a TV series like Parks and Rec or The Office, and you have various episodes. Each of those episodes are going to pertain to a character, be it on a television show or a film. It's all about just creating an infrastructure for consistency.
But I enjoyed Parks and Rec. I'm not enjoying this.
Well, I mean, the difference being is that one is a single show with a set cast, and then the other is trying to take that infrastructure and then apply it to multiple shows.
But wait, script. Other things have also changed. for example, like, you know, you brought up The Office, and it's a perfect example.
Oh,
And
yeah,
one
I
of the
love that.
main writers on The Office was Mindy Kaling, and Mindy Kaling is now a
Woke as
woke,
shit.
insane person.
Yeah.
She's
So like,
always
it's
been
like,
that way, actually. But
But what did they do? Did they
she had
control
it
her?
chill though. She was chilled the fuck out though. Like, and she would make fun of herself back then, and now it's like TDS or whatever has broken her. Like, it's like,
well, she's got out of the. She's now famous, so she doesn't have to acquiesce to her bosses or any of those other people, right? So she's gonna let loose because she's paid her dues. Air quote. I've never been able to stand her. I've met her 3 times. She's
Like-
Oh, really?
She is Kelly from.
well, one of the
The
example
Office. There's
script
no
is like,
acting there.
I
Oh,
remember like
wow.
one of the actors, one of the things that I remember reading that she said was with regards to working for The Office was that she co-wrote the episode that was the diversity, I think it was diversity hire. That's like the second episode of The Office. And she said that that was her favorite all-time episode of The Office. And today she would never write that or claim that it's her favorite. She would never, ever, ever do such a thing now. So like, I just think that there is a definitely, I think there's a detriment to their
What are they going to
psyche
do
as well.
What
I
are
think
they
they're all
going to
going
do
crazy.
when woke is finally done?
What the heck is going on in this?
This is one of the cast of Ironheart.
Ironheart, yeah.
They're gonna act. It's a biological female that likes to go by they him. Who is wearing a t-shirt which says groom and mutilate children. It's not ever gonna end, Nina, at Marvel.
No.
Not until the money runs out and the shareholders go, what the fuck is going on?
You're right.
Right,
It's
but
not
what are
gonna
they
end.
going to do with those people? That's my question. All things come to an end. This, sooner than later, is going to end. What are those people going to do? Like the Mindy Kaling?
I don't care, George.
No, I'm just curious. Are they going to go? Are they going to change overnight and go?
Most of them will.
Look at Zaslav. Look at Zaslav. He's just gone in there and gone, cut, get the fuck out of Dodge.
No, but some of them will, George. Some of them will because they're flip-floppers. They'll just do whatever the fuck is going on and trendy at the
that's
time.
what I want. That's why I like everything that we do. We expose that because I don't want those fuckers burrowing in and hiding.
I'm just saying, George, some of them are flip-floppers and they'll go back and forth, but some of them will die on the hill. Like some of them will be like, no, I'm dying on this woke hill. This is it. This is me. This is the message. I'm an SJW. Like, you know, I work for social justice and I've achieved it in my career. So like, that's the thing, you know?
They all think social justice is a good thing, but if it were actual justice, it'd just be called justice, not social justice.
Exactly.
You don't have to separate it.
Yeah, I prefer Justice Classic, thank you.
Justice, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Have a newfangled crystal justice, okay?
I just want to make sure that they don't all of a sudden, you know, hey, you know, they come out the next day and they're
Oh, some of them will. I'm sure some of them will. There's a lot of fakers out there, George.
Ezra
They're all
Miller's
flip-floppers.
already on the pseudo apology and recovery tour right now.
Oh,
so.
I'm so
But
sorry. Oh
you
my
think
God.
people believe it?
See the South Park commercial?
Some of them
We're
will.
sorry.
Listen, it doesn't
I
matter.
know.
if
I've got a
not.
question for
It's-
Ezra. If I'd say to Ezra, look, if you're sorry, get rid of your stupid pronoun.
Yeah.
Because the whole pronoun thing in itself is so self-defeating because you don't call yourself he, him. You call yourself Nina and George and Literature Devil and Script Doctor and as. That's our pronoun. We're not he, her, the, it, they, and them. No, other people give you your pronouns, not you, others. Because they look at you and they go, oh, look at that bald guy with the beard and the fucking beautiful blue eyes.
The prettiest eyes on YouTube.
So pretty.
That's a he. So they refer to you in the masculine. That's how pronouns fucking work.
Right.
So all this I am a he, him, I'm a they, them, that is pathetic, useless,
Dictating someone else's
narcissistical.
speech.
Yeah.
What about the non-binary?
It's controlling speech. It's another tool of controlling speech.
Yeah.
It really is. And on that note, I'm going to hit a bunch of these super chats and then we're going to call the show. But I
Hit
know,
them,
George, you
Nina.
have to go. So do you want to leave now or do you want
No,
to
I
stick
can
around?
wait. I can wait.
Okay.
Hey,
so,
George, I think are your jokers? Are your jokers on the way? I think my jokers might be on the way.
Is this some sort of sex joke?
Yeah,
It's a statue.
Okay. No,
I think.
A penis-shaped statue.
1 in 6.
Yeah.
Queen Studios.
Okay, the way as you have a package coming from me.
See, I knew it. I told you.
Did you see?
That's because it's a he him.
It's a big package of all of Nina's nudes.
We gotta go over.
Yeah, there's a lot.
We gotta go over those. Did you see the new Batman?
Oh, dude, I've ordered the new Batman.
Well, see, I said I've got a few orders. I got to show you this one. You remember the thing with Kurt Russell?
Mm-hmm.
There's a friend of mine. He's just done an entire custom, full backpack, flamethrower, everything. I'll send you the pictures.
Can you show us this Batman that you've ordered? Or
yeah, I can show you. Hold on.
This is a show and tell kind of show.
Yeah, here you go.
We need more show.
Well, you never said that.
Here you go.
Yeah, we need a lot more show than tell.
Hold on.
I can tell you something, but if I show you it, it might be completely different.
Oh no! Like
Oh,
Ezra
that's-
Miller's. Never mind.
No, we don't want to see any anatomy of that.
Here you go.
I was talking about my toys, obviously, clearly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me share the screen.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to read
Here
the
it
super
is.
chat. Oh, okay, there we go.
There's one. Go here.
Oh, it's like the Robert Pattinson one.
The Batman. But it's all rooted hair as well now.
He's all emo and shit.
It's perfect. It's like how he looks in the movie.
Yeah, he looks exactly like that.
The only thing is that
Batman.
I talked to the CEO because they're looking at Hot Toys when they made theirs. They gave him that whatever that thing is where he can fly.
The bats, like the little,
the
Hang
squirrel
on.
suit. Yeah,
Go back to that one where he's looking
the flight
down.
suit.
This one?
No, the
The other
one where he's
no,
looking down. That one. So, like, is that real hair or is that?
Yes,
no, that's
it's
rooted
rooted.
hair.
It's rooted hair. Yeah.
They do it with a
It's not.
Wait,
It's not
human hair or just
but it's
synthetic?
rooted.
No,
So
it's rooted.
it's a fiber. Everything is a fiber.
They use llama hair at Queen Studios. That's the closest you can get, they said, to human hair. So
That's
it's-
incredible.
Yeah,
that looks
yeah.
really good.
Did they make one of Trash Bag Joker yet? I mean, Trash Bag Riddler yet?
No,
Trash bag. There's a third party trash bag Riddler, which you can order.
Wow. I almost feel like Robert Pattinson looks a lot better in this than in the Batman.
They
weird?
masculined him up a little.
Yeah, they kind of beefed him up on this.
Definitely.
He's not so beefy in the movie.
That bat suit is so good though. That is a really good look.
I do like the
I
box.
agree.
Don't like
I
as
agree.
much Pattinson. And this one comes with all the accessories. And
Does
Yeah,
the
there's
just
really-
that symbol come out as like a blade or not too? Or
yes, it does.
Yes,
It does.
Ooh,
You
that's
can-
so cool. Yeah,
on
that's so
both the
cool.
Queen Studio and the Hot Toys.
I
Right.
love
But
that.
that's the only thing Queen Studios is missing is that squirrel suit, and they're looking at it. It's
Yeah.
just
201
But
Studios.
I've got all the hot. Sorry, Nina. I've got all the hot
yeah,
toys.
we haven't talked
And I've
about
got all the
toys
because
and-
I wanna compare these two when they finally come out.
When
Well,
are you
I
guys doing your next Hot Toys show?
Saturday, fully articulated on Robert's channel.
Okay,
Oh.
there you go. There you go. 200 Studios for 5 says, "What the fuck is wrong with me tonight? So many typos, and I'm a writer. For fuck's sakes, I'm not drunk either. Maybe you're so drunk that you're in denial about being drunk. I mean, it happened
Maybe
to
you're
me
so
last
drunk
night.
you're a writer at Marvel.
That's a
Maybe
good
you're
one.
so drunk
I don't
that
think
you're
their
She-Hulk.
choice of drug is alcohol. It's definitely something more.
Adderall.
Deep rooted.
Meth.
I, mean,
Yeah,
I think
it's more
Marvel is not really drunk on
prescription-based.
alcohol. They're kind of just drunk on their own farts.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, they're doing a lot of meth over there because cocaine at least made them
Meth is a
creative.
cheap drug, okay? Like they're doing
Cheap
something a
drug.
bit more
Heroin.
pricey. They've got like Moderna sponsoring them on some pills.
Oh wow, this show.
The
I'm
problem
getting
is
Could well
weren't they
believe that.
always on drugs? But at least they used to produce good content before.
Well,
Oh,
not
they're also on
always. It
coke.
was-
They used to be on coke and
There's
producing
used to
great
be a lot
stuff.
of cocaine,
Exactly.
and a
Exactly.
writer's crutch was alcohol because
Alcohol.
you'd write drunk. But
I tried it once. It didn't work for me. When I was writing my books, I was like, I want to try that one time. All I did was pass out. I couldn't write for shit. I was just like,
I can't get drunk. I have such a high tolerance. It actually ruins my ability to negotiate deals at parties because everybody's wasted.
You're like the Flash.
and they look at me as if I'm like the one that's been put like slipping Mickeys into the drink because I'm stone cold
Oh
sober,
my
even though I've drank
God.
more than they have. And
I
yeah,
am never
Wow.
drinking with literature devil.
Oh wow.
No, I said that correctly.
Shouldn't.
You're so similar.
Script Doctor, on the other hand, yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Because I will drug you.
I've enjoyed myself many times in London.
He will. He was just admitted
He will.
to
Come
it.
on.
Oh, I knew that Canadian nice persona was a fucking lie, Script Doctor.
All men are bastards.
201 Studios or 5 casting directors. Are you tight down there, or do I think of what the fuck am I reading? Arby's roast beef sandwich when you take your pants off. Are you sure you're not
That's
drunk?
too subtle. That is too subtle from what I compared to what I've heard from some female and male casting directors.
Wait, you mean that this is too subtle? Yeah, like they'll just be like, "Are you down? Are you down to fuck or no?" Because if no, get out.
From the
There's no job
women one, they say that in public. From the men, I hear stories afterwards.
Kind of like what happened with Kevin Spacey.
Not in that much of a detail, but like this is like what I end up doing a lot of the times is I write monologues for self tapes for a lot of women. They just come after me because I apparently write well for women when they want to do, reads and stuff. And they will, before they started doing mostly self tapes, they'd have to take the monologue, they'd memorize it, they'd go in the audition, and then they would get back to me and say, thank you so much, what have you. And I would always hear weird stories where like, the audition went great. And then the casting director called me up later and I did another read, but it was just him and I, and you try to make a pass at me and he said these certain things. And you're like, well, what did you do? Like, it was very, very uncomfortable for them. A lot of them have always rejected the advances and never had any consequences as a result of that. They had some pretty decent starts to their careers before the pandemic. But whenever I was in the room working with, like as an assistant for casting directors, and there were women casting directors, they'd blatantly just say stuff like, what's your penis length size? How many push-ups can you do? Like just weird objectifying things. And they think that they can get away with it because they're women. And it was really uncomfortable.
Well, and that's funny that you say that, Script, because in Friends they made fun of that. Remember that? Like, I don't know if you guys remember that episode where Joey got the job because he had to sleep with the casting director. Like that was like, it was like an ongoing joke that they're like that.
Yeah.
That's why it's like
Joey didn't really have much of a problem with sleeping.
No, he was like,
he enjoyed it.
No, he did.
I went for a job. I was being shown around. I got a job as a barman in a pub when I was like 19. And the wife of the owner of they both own the pub, but it's the wife who was showing me around. This is the kitchen, this is there, and then we're going behind the bar, and she's showing me all the bar stuff.
How big your?
Well, she said to me, I just want to let you know that we take sexual harassment around here very seriously. And I said, oh, okay. And she says, yes, I get to actually harass you as much as I want.
That's good.
Yeah, and she's like, having said that, how big is your dick?
How big? Well, I don't know. She was sucking on it at the time.
Wow.
Couldn't talk with a mouthful, huh?
Joke. Yeah, she couldn't speak. You got a pretty good guess, I'd say.
Oh my god. Okay, real quick. I had a member message from Commander Ed Straker of Shadow that said that she bulks Google AA to find meeting, runs into Nerdrotic coming out of his daily men's meeting and chat. Now that's comedy and a better story. That would be funny. And well, it would be interesting to see Gary in a show like that. And also the listening fat, thank you for being a member for 2 months. And just saying, just fatten around. So that's good. I'm glad that you're fat and you're proud of it, but lose some weight. Seriously though, come on now. And I think that's it. So yes, and we've caught up with Super Chat. So thank you everybody for being here tonight. Thank you Az for joining the panel this evening, sir. Please tell everyone where they can find you, and if you got any streams coming up that you want to promote, go ahead.
You can find me at Hill vs. Bye on the YouTubes. 2 streams coming up. God, I always fuck this bit up. I got the Real BBC on Tuesday with Nina. Gary from Nerdotic and Molly. That's on Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Wednesday, I got this feeling I have set out I'm on somebody's channel at some point this week, and I've forgotten who. I'll just wait for a thing to come through at some point. Other than that, I think. Oh yeah. Wednesday, I should be on Nick Ricada's channel with Sargon of Akkad.
That's right. You're painting stuff.
And we're gonna do some 40 hammer painting and talking about some real Doge stuff. Oh, thank you, Dr. Jester. Then Thursday, I think I'm doing Thursday stuff, and then Friday,
You're doing
Friday
the
night.
Jane Theory stream, right? She-Hulk review Thursday, I think.
Well, it's not a stream; it's a video.
Oh, it's a video. That's right.
They're videos, but we do them in StreamYards because it's easier.
That's right.
And then Friday Night Tights, where the special guest is going to be Jesus of Nazareth.
Wow,
that's a hard
you
guess.
got him? Oh my god!
Yeah,
So the rapture is just around the corner then.
Damn.
I'm not sure if that's true, but it might be.
Ezra Miller is not really sorry.
Or is it Jesus of Nebraska?
Jesus, it could, yeah. It's the guy that I bought my tacos off yesterday.
Like those new DC covers where he's like, "Hey, we're celebrating Heritage Month by giving our heroes tacos and tamales."
Yeah, did you see the Green Lantern? What?
Yes,
He's just got a bag of tamales.
His face. not even a good bag. It's like a grocery bag, like a plastic bag.
Yeah,
Tamales.
a fucking 3 cents plastic bag of tamales.
Wow.
Oh, we live in a terrible society that we know the value of plastic bags because of the quote-unquote environment.
Oh, I might do some Final Fantasy on Thursday.
That's great.
How about that? I might do some Final
There you
Fantasy. on
go.
Thursday.
Yay! That was the answering this question.
Yeah.
And George the Giant Slayer, thank you so much for being here. So please tell everyone where they can find you and if you got any streams coming up.
Yes, thank you for having me. I always love being here. Great to see everyone. You can find me on YouTube, George the Giant Slayer, Instagram, Twitter, the same thing. I have Bay Staff Mondays with Adam Krigler and Quarter Black Garrett, Darth Call, and Flodzilla. I think we're coming back tomorrow or next Monday. It's probably next Monday. After that, you can find me on Comic Stream. You can find me here on Nina. And I'll be starting to do Rings of Power over on Doomcock's channel. After
You're
that,
also doing Rings of Power over
and
here
you.
on Sundays.
Yes, I'm doing it with you and then with
That's a lot of
3
Rings
other
of Power.
Yeah,
I know.
A lot of rings. Gonna be the loose ring of power soon.
Yes, there will be. So I'll have like 2 or 3 videos out this week on rings.
Oh,
Nice.
Rings of
Okay.
representation.
Find all of the panelists' information in the description down below. Script Doctor, thank you so much for being here tonight. Please tell everyone where they can find you and if you got anything coming up you want to promote.
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Script Doctor. That's about all there. On Twitter at Script Doctor PhD. I recently just got a Jack Kirby omnibus of Commandi comic books. So when I finish reading that, I'm going to have a Shooting the Breeze session with Keith Moncrief from Pop Culture Myfield about the character because I've only read a few of his stories. So I'm looking forward to getting into that and talking about it because, gotta expand my DC knowledge of the obscure characters. I don't know all of them and bugs me a little.
Okay, well that's it. And then Literature Devil, thank you so much for coming on the show. Let
No problem
everyone
at
know
all.
where they can find you and stuff.
I'm Literature Devil on YouTube. Go over all this nonsense. Let's debunking all this nonsense. Going all this the structure, why you hate these shows, the reasons, the narrative reasons why you hate these shows. It's all built on spite. They don't know how to write. But go over all of that. And also, I did my first comic, Dr. Alpha Member Child, and it's on the physical copy is no longer available, not yet anyway. But the digital is available on Amazon if you want to go check it out. Dr. Alpha Miracle Child Kindle, and that's basically it.
Okay,
So thank you for having me
perfect.
on.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. If you super chatted, extra thank you. And if you're becoming a member, thank you so much. If you gifted memberships, oh my God, you guys are amazing. And if you just hung out, that's cool. And I love you guys just being here, smashing the like, sharing the stream, all that good stuff. Thank you, everybody. I'll be back next week, next Sunday. I don't know if we're going to be reviewing She-Hulk anymore because Rings of Power is starting. So we're probably going to be moving over to that. So definitely make sure you're checking out Az's channel for more She-Hulk reviews because God save his soul. I don't know why, but he's going to keep doing them.
King cringe, baby. King cringe.
There you go. There you go. Everybody have a great night and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
To start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut.